I feel like I want to let the intro music play longer every week.
Just let it run out.
I know. I actually don't know the song yet. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Wind Down Your Weekend. We are here at Bat City Comic Professionals on Austin's East Side. I am Shannon, aka SmallPressShann, and I am here tonight, as usual, with my buddy Phil, aka Wednesday Phil. How's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just hanging out, having blast, talking about comic books. You know, what else could you possibly want?
When you're hanging out in a comic book store.
Right, hanging out in a comic book store, talking about comic books. That's just what you do. I'm actually going to pull up some comments right now and share this with you guys. Comics time, here we go. What's up? Howdy, Gomez, and the rest of the Bat City fam, as you are all tuning in. It is September 12th. I keep wanting to say October 12th.
If only.
The year is going by so fast, and here I am trying to speed it up, apparently. But it's September 12th. It's another Sunday of a great week for indie books.
Yes.
As we love, and you'll hear all about soon enough. And since we're winding down our weekend, Phil actually brought Stave Steel, which is a bourbon barrel-aged cab sav.
Yes.
From California. I had to hold that while I read it because I had no idea what you brought. You just were like, let's do this bourbon barrel thing, and I was like, okay, sure, that sounds fantastic. I always like the way that they word things on the back of bottles, and this one sounds like, I don't know if it's because it's bourbon, they try to sound like super distinguished, but it's like, our winemaker masterfully ages 100% of our premium cab sav in rich bourbon barrels for 4 months. The oak staves, lending distinctive bourbon notes of caramel and spice, are bound by rugged steel ropes. Actually already interrupted. Okay, so we're back. Yeah, I would absolutely love Tom King written wine bottles, but let's give it a try.
So my appeal to this was the caramel.
The caramel.
I'll be honest. And also, when I used to drink liquor, I was a big fan of bourbon. So having it aged in bourbon barrels seems kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
Like a different attempt at making wine.
I definitely can tell that they have that caramel-y flavor to it. Caramel is one of my favorite candy-type flavors. I'm not a big candy person, and I can't have chocolate. So caramel is my topping of choice on most candies. Mm-hmm. And so I appreciate the choice of something that tastes like caramel. Because most wines do taste, they are like, oh, it tastes like chocolate. Or you pair it with chocolate.
Right.
When Matt and I went on our trip to taste all the wineries, that was the thing, is all of the wine tastings, the pairings came with either chocolate or some kind of nut. And I was like, hi,
interesting,
I don't like either of those, can I just have extra cheese? And they're like, well, this one really goes with chocolate, and I'm like, well, so does my death, so I would prefer something else. And they're like, oh, I'm like, do you have white chocolate? Is there a wine that goes with white chocolate? Because I can have that because it's not actually chocolate. That's not really a thing. So it's delicious. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought my
was translated. So yeah, no, this is really good.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy this.
Yeah, I'm excited. This is going to be great. This is not one of the twisty top ones, so I'm going to give it to you to put behind the TV. When they're twisty top, I can put them down underneath the table, but when it's not, I'm scared I'm going to spill it, knock it over on our wonderful white carpet. Chad said he found a new wine this weekend that he has to grab for us. It's meant to be refrigerated, like a red wine that's refrigerated. Do you like sweet, fruity wines? What have you...
Sure.
You don't know yet.
I'm still very young in the wine game, so...
Yeah, so it's... Yeah, welcome.
Okay.
And that's actually, this Wind Down Your Weekend show is how Matt and I got into wine. We actually were given one bottle, and we thought we'd try it on the live stream, and then HEB messed up our order, and when Curbside first started, and gave us 7 bottles of wine, and we were like, well, I guess we're wine drinkers now. And so we just added that as a part of the live stream, and then it suddenly became like, well, why don't we just do this now? But of course we only buy cheap bottles of wine because we spend our money on comic books and toys. So
I will say though, this is probably only the second time in the last 5 years that I've been into Total Wine, and it is very overwhelming.
It is very overwhelming, but
Yes.
there's a lot. Once you know, kind of like, oh, I like this type of wine, at least you can go there and kind of like start on that aisle, which is what you did today. You said you went and like checked the Cab Sav section.
Yeah, I started in, because I know you guys like Cab Sav, so I started there. But I was also on the hunt for, I found out that Snoop Dogg has a rosé,
Yes, he does.
and I really want to try that. And then I also saw that John Legend has a new line of
Ooh.
wines,
We have to.
and so I'm curious about that as well.
I'm down to give them both a try. We've actually had Snoop Dogg's red wine before, and it was surprisingly good. So I'm down to try. If he's got other wines in his line, I'm down to try them because I was pleasantly surprised with how good his wine was.
Do you know what it's called? Because I saw a bottle of wine today that has his name on it, called 19 Crimes.
Yeah, that's his line.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I was like, it's some kind of 9 crimes, but I couldn't remember which kind, how many crimes there were in this wine spree. So yes, I'm glad you guys talk amongst yourselves about your football, because I don't know anything about it at all.
The only thing that I will say from today in terms of football is the Carolina Panthers
Yes.
showed off this new like 3D crazy looking panther. I don't know how they did it, but it like jumped up onto the scoreboard and ripped the other team's flag down and like jumped into the middle of the field. It was kind of like a giant like hologram.
Okay,
It was really cool. I was like, okay,
we live in the future.
yes, I'd become a Panthers fan just for that.
Just for that holographic mascot.
Yes, essentially.
Good reason. Well, my favorite sports team is these indie comics this week. That's what I got out of it, is I'm cheering for them because there was an amazing amount of indie comics today. So we are going to jump in, I guess, with a prize to welcome you for watching us, and then we'll get talking about some of these amazing movies. Prize! He's getting closer, everybody. If you watch weekly, my goal is to get Phil to also yell prize. It will happen someday. So, we're going to kick it off with 2 books. The first one, Spider-Man Life Story Annual. This just came out. You're going to notice it's a theme. This just came out recently. I'm going to give you a copy of that, as well as Dark Horse Comics Greatest World, and this is X from Dark Horse. I have no idea what this is, but I'm super excited that you guys are going to get to read it because, yes. So, your question to start the night off is, Shang-Chi, the character, first appeared in what issue of what comic? If you can tell me the first appearance of Shang-Chi, you get both of these books. This is the annual for Spider-Man Life Story by Chip Zdarsky, and the X book from Dark Horse Comics.
Yes. I've never read this before.
Me either, but I'm super curious now. So whoever wins this prize, you'll have to tell Phil and I what it's about. We may also have another copy, so Phil and I might just be reading this immediately after.
Yeah.
It is not Master of Kung Fu #1. Shang-Chi actually appeared before that. So if you can tell me his first appearance before Master of Kung Fu #1, it was in 1973. I will say that. So,
I was wrong.
yeah, I had to look it up. Yes, BJ, it's special Marvel edition number 15. So, BJ, you are getting these prizes. Congrats, BJ. You are getting Spidey Life Story and X. So, you have to tell us all about the X story from Dark Horse.
Yes, FaceTime us and read it to us.
And read it to us so we can talk about it. And BJ says, if you are a Spidey fan, he is not. So if you would like to comment claiming BJ's Spidey prize,
We're here.
I like that, Phil. You should just stay frozen, like even when we come back. For those of you who may have missed that, BJ is giving up the Spidey book. So if you are the first person to claim that Spidey book that BJ just won, Spidey Life Story annual number 1, you get it. But while y'all are doing all that, Phil and I are going to talk about some books that came out this week. And so Phil and I have mentioned this before, but we have an obsession with children and YA books. We love the middle grade YA.
Yeah, I was just hoping to let that slide.
I was like, children's and YA.
Children's books.
Children's books. Yes,
books.
you don't need to say children's books and YA books. The double books is redundant. Anyway, we have a love for all of those books, and Scout started an imprint earlier this year called Scoot that has some really amazing kids books coming out on it. What I love more than anything is they're only $1.99, so it's great to get kids into them. And the first book of the night is actually from that imprint. It is Little Guardians from Scoot. What did you think, Phil?
I enjoyed this. For a kid's book, I thought it was pretty fun. I think this one may have been slightly too kiddish for me. I love the art, and I love the concept of the story, in the sense that you have your like the main character, young girl, who kind of is, I don't want to say neglected by her family, but kind of pushed to the side.
Yeah.
You know, and the only thing that I really remember from this book of everything is that there's a zucchini festival.
There is a zucchini festival, and it is a very big deal in this town. And there's a team of guardians, and they're like the superheroes.
The internet's just been out this week. All right.
Yeah. It's sorry everybody. It's been a bad internet week all around. I know we had some customers in here yesterday even talking about like on their cell phones they couldn't get like stuff to go through. So
I received a message earlier from T-Mobile and I think Spectrum as well that said that there is a hurricane nearby.
Yes, Olaf.
I think this was a different one.
There's another one since Olaf? So. That was just like 2 days ago.
Or maybe it was that one. I didn't read the specifics. It just told me that there was going to be internet troubles and that we need to be prepared.
Oh, well, good to know. So sorry if we keep dropping out tonight. We are doing our best, but we'll just keep telling you about as many books as we can. Little Guardians, absolutely cute. There's a lot to this story. There's a lot of characters that they introduce really quickly in this one, and I'm curious to see if this little girl, she's going to get to be like the chosen one because of how much everybody's mean to her.
Yes.
But we've got demons, we've got like guardian heroes, we've got a little girl who just wants to be included, and I think that she's going to end up obviously being the one to save the day, and I can't wait to see how.
Yes, I like the main character. Her dad cracks me up. The whole him trying to sell
trinkets to people.
Just selling trinkets and then being like, oh, those are very rare and hard to find. And the people are like, oh, there's a bunch right there. And he's like, oh, come this way. Did I tell you I liked your face?
Yeah.
And you're like, okay.
And then she tries to do it. I love when she tries to do it. She's like, did I tell you I like your face? And they're like, you weren't meant for this, were you? And she's like, no, I don't think so. And I'm like, do I start telling customers that when they come in? Do I need to start telling people I really like your face? Like awkwardly, because I feel like it would definitely make people run away. So
it could work.
It could work. I mean,
you never know.
Who knows? But super cute book. If you've got young ones in your life or you're a fan of the middle grade and under book, this is really more of the kids book middle grade age range. If you have somebody in that age range for looking for a good book to jump on, this is going to be a good one. And the Scoot books most of the time will go from issue 1 to a graphic novel. So just this one I believe is in following that, where there will be a graphic novel that comes out in October, I believe.
Okay.
So
I'm definitely in.
Yeah.
I've liked Scoot so far. And I'm intrigued by the art, and I kind of like the whole concept of like being able to summon an animal spirit.
Yes.
So I think that's going to be appealing to me.
Absolutely. Speaking of Scout, Red Shift number 2 is out. We talk about all the time that Scout does this thing where they release a book and then they give you 2 months as a store to kind of talk about it to people and tell them why it's good and give people a chance to read it, give them a chance to determine if a second print is needed before they ever release issue 2. Well, kind of backfired slightly with Redshift because then all the delays started happening. So Redshift has actually taken almost 3 months for issue 2 to come out. So this is one of those that a lot of people were like, oh, I need to go back and read issue 1 again when they picked up their issue 2. But we are at the point where humans have colonized on Mars because we've already destroyed Earth, and now, like, we're kind of at the point where we need to leave Mars too, and the teens that are like college age kids who are in this training program to be the people who go out into the world to at this point they're trying to make the decision who's going to be the one to send to space to go into this battle, and the number one candidate is a kid who his mom was the last person that they sent out and she never came back. And now the dad is sick and the siblings need somebody to take care of him. So he just is like, I'm not going to do it. And chooses not to do it. And issue 1 kind of leaves us with, like, what's going to happen if he doesn't do it and who's going to go. And issue 2 kind of picks up with that, of the fallout of him saying that, you know, even like his dad being disappointed, like, this is what you're supposed to do. And everybody all the other members of the group, just everybody giving him so much crap for not wanting to do it, and him having to wrestle with the decision of like what is actually the right thing to do in the end. And it's actually, I was worried that it was going to be a super space book, and then in the end it's actually, while it takes place in space, it seems to be more just geared around this family story. And are these parents going to, like, is this kid going to live up to the expectation and is doing exactly what your parents did, the living up to the expectation, or is finding your own path that might be better for you, that the way to do that.
You know, it's crazy when you started talking about this book, because I remember when you said it in the pile, I was like, I don't think I read the first issue. And then you told the plot of the first issue. I was like, oh, I did read this book. It was just so long ago. That I forgot. But I do want to read this one. I have always been a fan of sci-fi books, but it's also even more appealing when it's just the backdrop. Like, it's not what drives the story.
Yeah.
You know, it's just kind of like, oh, here is a family story, or here is a story of personal growth. It just so happens to be
in space. Yeah.
So I do appreciate that, because, I mean, going through the stack to this week, there were a good handful of space books.
There were. We are hitting that. I feel like we're hitting a big sci-fi and Western run right now, and the books are kind of taking place in one or the other realm. And because it is almost October, we're going to see a lot of the horror books starting to come back too. And I'm totally okay with a world where we have these horror and sci-fi and Western. There's so much, we're playing with so much of the genre. And when people come into the store that don't read comics, their answer is always, I don't like superheroes. And I say, cool, that's 20% of comic books.
Right.
Would you go into, Book People, and when they ask you what kind of books you're interested, say, oh, I don't like superheroes. And they are like, no, of course not. And I'm like, they have the same amount of superhero books in Book People that I have here. And if you're counting the kids and the YA and all of the actual superhero section, but that's 20%. There is a whole nother world within here where you can get your sci-fi books, your horror books, your Western books, your rom-coms. They all exist in here. You just have to know to look for that. So
right.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to read this one. Now that I know I've read it.
Right.
That first issue.
I can jump in.
Yeah, because I was unsure. But yeah, it's interesting too, because I feel like a lot of these books kind of center around the demise of Earth, as we're going to talk about more in a bit with some of these other books.
Absolutely.
But it seems kind of perfect in the time that we're in, with the conversation of climate control and global warming and different things like that. So I like that people are taking that and kind of running with it. It's almost like a bunch of writers rolled the same story cubes.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, end of the world. We have to come up with a story about
right,
leaving.
they just rolled them for the table, and they all just went from there. Yeah.
It's okay, we're going to tell a story about the world coming to an end.
Yeah.
So
here we are. Next up is Sensational Wonder Woman number 7. This is one of those books that you do not have to read all of it. Sensational Wonder Woman has had like different. Each one is like had so you don't have to like consistently be with it. Like in the first one, there was a couple of different. It was almost anthology like early on. This is just like one issue, but we actually see the introduction of a possible new villain in this, and so I don't know if we'll see much of this character like going forward, but we are reconnected. Okay. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one. I love that her villain is the girl that we're seeing, the person that she's chasing the whole book. I don't know if villain's the right word. That's why I'm like, villain. But the person she's chasing the entire story is a woman who is a social media like socialite. She's married to a billionaire, and all she's known for is her social media presence. And you see her backstory, and you see how lonely and dark that world is for her. And then you see, you know, who you kind of start to look into, like, who's the villain and who's the hero and who's hurting who and how everything's hurting. And it's just an interesting concept for Wonder Woman. But there's a scene in here where Wonder Woman breaks into a place, and they're like, "Oh, you shouldn't have broken in here. We're going to shoot you like now." And somebody goes, "Are you kidding me? That's Wonder Woman. Like, we're not gonna attack her." And they're like, "No." He's like, "No, I'm taking her down." And he goes, "You've got one chance," or something like that. And he's like, I'm before I shoot." And she goes, "You better not miss." And I was like, yay, I love when Wonder Woman gets the, like, badass moments, because she never does. It's always just like, oh, don't do that. And she gets this moment where she's just like, well, don't miss. And we see that a lot with Yada. Yada has the tough girl attitude, but Diana, we don't see it as much with anymore. And so it's nice to give her those, like, one lines where she's like, nope, I will destroy you if you come after me. You will not win this battle. And so I love it. And I love that we get to see some of that, like, movie costume blended into the comic book. There you go.
Where's a good place to start?
Where's a good place to start?
Yeah, and so it's hard, like, people don't really have good suggestions for where to start with Wonder Woman, where they're like, this is it, this is the definitive story. And, like, a lot of the times when people ask me about Wonder Woman, I'm like, oh, Dead Earth, because it's Daniel Warren Johnson. But other than that, I've never really...
Older fans will tell you to start with George Perez's Wonder Woman, because it is such a definitive run, and there's a lot of classic, amazing stories in there, and of course it's George Perez art, and Phil Jimenez and all of that, and so it's that team of people working together. I really like Gail Simone's Wonder Woman because it's Gail Simone, but also I really, really like the way Gail Simone kind of took that approach of she doesn't always have to be attacking, she doesn't always have to be hitting people or doing things, like there's more to her, like that making the choice to not fight strong was a really great thing that Gail Simone did. And being that she was a female creator coming in here, she was also trying to put forth, like, the power of that character, and it not just being also kind of just here for the male gaze. Like, suddenly it was a story that was strong, and strength came in all kinds of appearances. So I really like the Gail Simone run on it. And honestly, now when people come in and they say, I've always wanted to get into Wonder Woman and I don't really know, I'm like, just read Becky Cloonan and Michael Conrad's story that's ongoing right now, because it's really good, and you get strong Wonder Woman, you get thoughtful Wonder Woman, you get a lot of the classic mythology, but you also get, just this modern look. We don't have Steve Trevor, so you're just getting to know Diana. So there's so much to that. So a lot of times I'll tell people, like, that's a really great place to start.
All right.
Yay! Sorry again, guys. It's gonna be one of those days with the internet being crazy.
We're hardwired.
And yeah, we are hardwired. It's just the internet in general is crazy right now. Canto Volume 3, Issue 3. If you watch this live stream, you know that Canto is one of my favorite books of all time. I'm not even putting it in my picks of the week anymore because you already know that I pick it. I just need you to know that it is an extraordinary story filled with the most heart. This is Kanto. He's in volume 3. We have everything you need to catch up if you need to. But Kanto is a clockwork knight whose heart was stolen by an evil sorcerer, as well as all of the hearts of his people. And they were replaced with clocks, and they were forced to live as slaves until their time ran out. And finally, this young knight, Kanto, decided that he was going to win back the hearts of all of his people. And he is leading a rebellion. And he is currently trying to gather all of the people from across all of this like mythological world who are all being tortured essentially by the sorcerer and under his control. He's trying to get them all on his side. And so you see him go through, giants and the humans and all the different people trying to find it. And it's beautiful art. It's a heartfelt story that just gets you every time. This is definitely one of those powerful stories that you can't not enjoy it when you're done with it.
So this is one that, because I'm so behind on reading everything else, I haven't had a chance to even start this, but I now want to.
I've heard, I can see how it could connect to Bone. It's equally as good and equally as epic. For me, I actually read volume 2 before I read anything else, and it was when I read volume 1 that I found out that the creator was basing all of his work in this off of the concepts of the Wizard of Oz and the idea of going on this huge journey. And he said that when L. Frank Baum wrote The Wizard of Oz, his whole thing was that fairy tales were always dark and grim and there wasn't anything hopeful in a fairy tale. And he was like, why can't you go through this dark time against these dark characters and keep your hope the whole time and make it out on the other side hopeful? And he was adamant that he wanted to do that. And so when the creators of Kanto began work on Kanto, that was their whole thing, is the world can be dark, but we need fairy tales that remind us to keep our hope up. Mm-hmm. And to be that person. And in this issue, actually, Kanto doubts himself, and he says maybe the whole thing, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm not ever going to save the people. Maybe I can't keep going. And he says that, and one of the other characters says, was it not you that did all of these things? And starts listing all of the adventures we've already accomplished with Kanto. And is like, was it not you that did those things? And Kanto says, yes, of course it was me. They said, then why would you doubt yourself now? You've already made it through all those things. Mm. And it's just, that's that hope. Like, hey, yeah, this day, this thing seems hard, and maybe today you feel like you're not ever going to accomplish anything. You feel like you can't keep going. But didn't you already do all these other things? Like, you've already made it through all of the other trials and tribulations of your life. Like, why wouldn't you make it through this one if you kept going? Right. Why not keep that hope? And so it's such an amazing story that they're constantly bringing that back, and that idea that you are capable of doing things. It's the little guys can do big things too, kind of like tiny right. but mighty moments. Chad, that is not why I was asking about Oz copyright information the other day, but I will tell you someday soon. But this is Kanto. This is Volume 3. Volume 1 and 2 are available in trades. We also have all of the single issues, I believe, if you want to catch up.
For all 3 volumes?
Yeah.
Wow.
I have a problem.
You bought a ton? Huh? Everything but
we don't have 1. Yeah, we don't have number 1 of volume 1, but I have all. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Witchblood issue 6 is out this week. Super excited about this book. This is a great story. I always call this, if Scott Pilgrim was about witches, this is what it would be. This is just, I mean, if you show that art, you're gonna see how I make that comparison. But this is the story of an ancient witch battling against some modern vampires as they try to go after the life source of all witch blood. Woohoo! There's a lot to this story. These vampires have been killing witches, trying to find the source of their blood. They have now found it, and shit hits the fan. That's the best way I can describe what's going to happen in the next issue. But I love the art. The artist is of the book is actually the artist of the Modern Witch Tarot deck. So it's really cool to see this person who actually made a tarot deck specifically about modern witches, drawing modern witches in a comic book.
I do love this art. And I remember I jumped off on the first issue, but being a vault book and you constantly comparing it to Scott Pilgrim, I feel obligated to at some point pick this back up.
And the jokes were really, like, the Scott Pilgrim-esque jokes were really, like, the second through, like, fourth issue, and now we're kind of getting into that meat of the story, and it's like, oh, this is what we're actually working towards, so it's a little less of that, but then they do throw those one-liners in here every once in a while, so I definitely think that if you're fans of Witch books and Brian Lee O'Malley, you'll like it, especially, like, because the art kind of feels reminiscent of all that, too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Witch Blood. Number 6. So this will be the end of the arc?
Yes, so we should be getting a volume 1 in the next couple months. Nice House on the Lake issue 4. I never bring this book because usually the week it comes out, I don't have any left. But I actually have everything but issue 3 on the wall right now because of second, third, and third prints and things like that. This is James Tynion let's just call it what it is. This is a creator-owned style title from James Tynion, but it's through the world. And that's all I can tell you. Other than that, it's great.
Yeah, it's... I really feel like this is a book that doesn't need to be spoiled beyond the fact that you know right off the bat in the first issue what's going down, and it seems like with this being a 12-issue series, each issue you'll probably get more of a backstory of each of these characters.
Yes.
And it's been a wild ride so far. Like, I'm
Dude.
very, very intrigued. I don't talk about this book that often, but it may be one of the books that I'm most excited for when it comes out.
Yeah, we have that moment where we stop to read it, and then we have to all read it. Like Matt and I have to read it on the same day, and Josh, our volunteer, who has lumped into that, and so we all have to read it at like the same time so that nobody spoils it for the other one. So Josh calls it our family time. Josh says family time is we sit down and we read Nice House on the Lake, and then we all talk about it, and like nobody's allowed to speak anything of it until the other ones are finished reading. It's absolutely the most adorable thing, but this is our family adventure each week that it comes out. Is we all hand each other our copies, we read it, and then we discuss it like a family.
I think that's totally fair. I would not want to be spoiled about this book at all. And this, again, it just kind of proves why Tynion is one of the best out right now. And, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that DC let him do this. Because I feel like as much as DC I feel like DC teeters on this like feeling of wanting to bring Vertigo back.
Yes.
And they're trying to do it with the Black Label title.
Yeah. DC's big thing is also that they want to be the home of horror. That is, they brought out the Hill House comics, and they brought Joe Hill in to do that whole line. And then now they have the Black Label. They've been throwing horror books on it along the way. Now they actually have DC Horror Presents. Right. And it's got The Conjuring. It's about to have versus vampire, like DC versus vampires. It's got a couple other titles that are already in the works. They've got a Soul Plumber coming up. They are really trying to. The replacement for Vertigo is almost that they just want to do horror, and I don't know when they're just going to admit that they need to just bring back Vertigo, because it's like each couple of years, like each couple of months, they pick something that's like their Vertigo replacement. And this time of year, it's always a really big push on the horror books. And I'm okay with that. Just give me if you bring back Vertigo, or whatever you want to call it, just bring back Hexwives. I don't care.
Yes, I would agree with that. And to be entirely honest, I actually enjoyed some of the Young Animal stuff.
Yeah.
I'm currently reading Cave Carson Has a Cybernetic Eye, which is a really wonderful book. The artist is the guy who did the Midnighter Annual. I thought the Gerard Way Doom Patrol was really good. I liked the updated Shade the Changing Girl. those were all titles that back when DC was around I really loved. So I was kind of happy that they were bringing that stuff back. Yeah. It just, again, they never really let it fully work itself out. Mm-mm. I think they were like, oh, these titles aren't selling. Let's just stop doing this Young Animal stuff. I'm hoping that it's not the case with Black Label.
Yeah.
Because I feel like they're finding some good hits. Mm-hmm. I think the Joe Hill stuff was really popular.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm hoping that they can stick with this, and then maybe with like sales of this book doing well, they'll want to branch out even more.
Honestly, like, this is probably the book that I order the most copies of anything we've ever had in the store. I like missed our order deadline for the weekend that the wedding was, mm-hmm. and I usually over order in advance and then I can take it back down because you can't go the opposite way. And so I got like 15 copies more than what I usually even order of Nice House on the Lake, and I only have like 7 left total.
Wow.
So this book is, and that number is already higher than what I order of everything else. And so this is actually probably the Bat City #1 seller for this year already. And we're only 4 issues in. Mm-hmm.
Good to know.
So congratulations, James Tynion, once again. You are the Bat City #1 seller. And we're here we are. But Nice House on the Lake, if you're not picking it up, we do have third print. Watch it on playback. There we are. Yes, so Nice House on the Lake, I was saying if you want to jump in and you haven't yet, we have third prints of issue 1, second prints of issue 2. I believe second prints of issue 3 are on their way, and we still have copies of issue 4, which is the one that just came out this week in stock. So there you go. Books ending this week. Eve ended. This is a Boom Studios mini that was a 5-part series. We were talking about books about the end of the world. Yeah. Eve is one of them. In Eve, we see a little girl whose parents are scientists, and they put Eve in a cryogenic tube, essentially, and leave her on Earth when everybody else leaves Earth. And she is left behind to be the saving grace of the planet Earth. This is a really cool book because it is done by people who wanted to, who were like scientists and have this conversation. And the writer has a thing at the back of this that they've done stories about race relations before. Like Victor LaValle's like, I wrote a story about race relations in the past. And this time he said, I wanted to tell a story that still put Black people as the main characters, but reminded people that race isn't the only thing that we have to deal with, mm-hmm. and that we're also dealing with everything that everybody else is dealing with on top of that. And so he said he wanted to write a story about climate change and global warming and the end of the world and make the main characters Black. Mine have been when we've been cut out, so...
no one's gonna know. It's just the disappearing wine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like every time I'm in here, you're talking about how excited you are for this book. It's definitely gonna be one of those that I pick up and trade. I love the art. I think the art in this book is fantastic. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm really into the idea of, kind of telling these end of world stories, because I know a lot of people feel like we're headed that way. Oh, mm-hmm. So it's kind of nice to, find some type of comfort in it.
Yeah.
Maybe through these interesting stories. I love the premise of this book. So
yeah. The teddy bear is just the best character.
I remember
it's an interesting thing, yeah.
You saying that.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely very excited. Boom Studios,
Never does it wrong.
No, you can't go wrong. Boom.
Yeah. Jeff, I will get some Canto trades for you. I don't remember if I have issue 1 of Eve, but I will double check those back issues for you, and if not, we can definitely save a trade for you when they come out. And BJ said that Victor LaValle is actually going to be doing an X-Men title of some sort soon, so I am actually super curious about that. This is all you, buddy. I mean, I read it too, but I'd love to hear your opinions as a stand-up comedian.
I'm not a stand-up comedian.
I feel like you could be.
I would love to be.
I know that's on your dream list, I guess I should say.
There was a period of time where I got really big into stand-up comedy. I would like to say that I studied it, but I think that was me just mostly watching stand-up specials on Netflix and being like, yeah, this is cool. I think I could do this. This is Melville Snelson, Comedy is Dying. It is it's a very interesting book. I actually do laugh occasionally. Mm-hmm. I was hoping this was going to be more kind of constant humor, but it's more depressing than anything.
It's yes, it can be.
Because you see these internet, I don't want to say internet sensation, but like you have like an internet documentarian who is all about free speech and is very kind of, oh, I'm doing righteous work, but really in the grand scheme of things, you're not really benefiting or helping anyone at all. And it's kind of taking a look into the life of Snelson, who was canceled because of a rant that he went on. And now this issue, you get to kind of see his podcast side, where he is talking to other canceled comedians, and to know when we're back on. So growing up in the era of South Park, where humor had no bounds.
Right. You
could say whatever you wanted, the joke could be about whoever, and no one really cared. But now with cancel culture, it's very tough you have to be very careful about the kind of jokes or the people that you decide to joke about. This book hasn't really had the conversation.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels like they're talking about that conversation.
And they started to towards the end, because I do like the girl that comes in and is like, it's not cancel culture, it's consequence culture. Because the thing is that that's the whole point, is like, you can't get away with saying whatever you want. You can say whatever you want, but you have to understand that you also do have to take ownership of that thing. If you came out and said whatever you wanted, then you do have to take ownership of the fact that you said that. And that goes for comedians too. And I feel like we forget that, because we didn't have the internet as much, that we forget that there were people who were doing this all along. Like, who were coming out and saying, like, hey, this is, maybe, even Kramer from Seinfeld. Like, right. There was that whole thing where just because you're doing stand-up doesn't mean you can say whatever you want. That was a huge conversation around his stand-up for a long time. And there were all of these people who were having that conversation but now that we have the internet, it's like it's in our faces and everybody thinks that it's the first time that that's happened. And I agree with you. I want the book to go further into that conversation in the same way that Mark Russell goes further into the conversations on all the sides in things like Second Coming from Ahoy as well. And so I'm curious to see if this book is going to go, now that we have the character who is pushing the other side, and he is like, oh, wait, and he's... Because every once in a while, Snelson seems like he gets it, and then the book doesn't pick up with him getting it. Right. Like, it's like right at the end of every issue, Snelson finally gets what they're saying, and then the next issue picks up and he's, like, completely forgotten it. And so I'm curious to see when we're going to, like you said, stop talking about the conversation and start having the conversation.
Right. Yeah, and I'm curious to see where this goes. It's a book that I'm still going to continue on with because, there are a few moments where I did laugh out loud in this book. And I like the character and I like the conversation. But again, we need to actually get into that conversation.
Yeah. The last book you'll ever read is not, in fact, the last book on this live stream. This is a Nightfall imprint book, which Nightfall, if you guys don't know, is the Vault horror imprint. And this is the only Cullen Bunn book this week. And it's not the page you're going to show, I guess.
No, it is not.
This is all about a girl who wrote a book, and whatever she reads from the book, the people whoever reads from the book, whether she reads out loud or whether somebody reads the book, whatever she is described in that scene of the book is kind of how the people who read it behave. And it's all about giving into those instincts within us. And so sometimes in this book issue, it's more of a sexual nature, and sometimes it's more of a violent nature. But she is on a book tour, and as her book tour continues, she has to get more and more security because there's more and more people attacking her. And there may be some demonic connection to it all that is slowly unfolding, because this is actually one of those that seems like it was planned out completely before it kind of started. A little bit more than some of the other Cullen Bunn books. Mm-hmm.
That seems like something that Cullen Bunn doesn't do. It seems like he's always the guy who's like, here's my idea. Mm-hmm. I have the first issue or two kind of mapped out, and we'll figure it out as we go. Because of all of the Cullen Bunn, especially the past couple of weeks, I skipped this one because I needed a break from all of the Cullen Bunn. But it is a vault title.
Yes.
So I feel obligated to read it.
Understandable, and I'm always in favor of being obliged to read Vault because they are doing amazing things with this publishing house. But yeah, this is definitely one that of the Cullen Bunn books, like this and Lucky Devil are the ones that I actually, which is funny because they are next to each other on the shelf, and they're the ones that I every week I'm like, ooh, I've got it, like that they come out, I'm like, okay, I actually want to read this one. The other ones they're like hit or miss for me, but this Last Book You'll Ever Read and Lucky Devil are the Cullen Bunn books that I like to really jump into. I also think that anything that's about the power that a book has, like, and the influence a book has on people that's told through a book, always gets me. It always makes me think of the line from Harry Potter where he says, funny how much damage a book could do in the hands of a silly little girl. And I always think of that whenever I think of these books that are supposed to have impacts, because that whole thing was a line in a book, like, you know, and it was like, oh, look at all this damage that this book can do. And I love when books play with that, because how much over the course of history has what a book done damage. You know, we burn we don't burn books. I would never burn books. But people burn books, and, you know, they start revolutions based off of things they read in books, and, you know, empires rise and fall with books, and books just have such an impact on our culture and who we are and what we do. And I just love when a book is like, hey, guess what, don't forget, books can be dangerous. Yeah, there we go. So like I said, it's just the reminder that the pen is mightier than the sword, and that books have that huge impact on people. And the more that we rely on, we look into these books, that like books they can change the world one way or the other. And I love reading books that take that into consideration.
One of the better Cullen Bunn books is The Last Book You'll Ever Read.
I just like the titles, like that fits perfectly. Okay, well, this book came out.
Yes,
this
Dancing with the Dragon. This is a Scout title. I am I'm kind of interested in the story for this book. I feel like this is the plot of a handful of action movies that you've probably seen at some point.
And I'm going to do this at the same time because I feel like this book is the stereotype version of this book. This book being The Search for Hugh. I think this one, and having a creative team that is Asian on this book, I feel like this book took the tropes and I felt like The Search for Hugh took the tropes and changed them and gave us like a little bit more depth on each of those tropes. And I think I felt like Dancing with the Dragon just gave me the tropes.
See, I felt like they both just gave you the tropes.
Really? See, and I felt like this one had a little bit more to it. It's still tropey. They're both tropey. But like you said, the Dancing with the Dragon felt like the action movies. And so it was like... Yeah. Dancing with the Dragon felt like it had a little bit more, and I think it's because it is that family story. Again, we had a little bit of that background, and it's still, like you said, it's buried in that, but I guess, like, the second, like, Dancing with the Dragons opened, they're like, oh, I'm being chased by triads, and I was like, okay, you're gonna give me that Americanized cliche version of the story, and while we do see a lot of the tropes of the Asian movie in Search for Hugh, it felt a little bit more like there was more to the story for me than Dancing with the Dragon, which felt like the Americanized movie version of it.
And I think that's totally fair. I will say that Search for Hugh is the better of the two, because when you read Dancing with the Devil, or Dancing with the Dragon, I feel like you know exactly where this book is going to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I also had issues because this book bounced back and forth and it kind of told you in the corner.
Yeah.
But there's no real distinction. The characters don't look any different. There's nothing that really would signify a difference between the two.
Do you want to compare art? Also, Jeff just said he wants to get issue 1 of both because he wants to do a comparison as kind of essentially like we just talked about.
The art in Dancing with the Dragon it's pretty good. It kind of feels like your independent scout style art. It's not really anything that's going to blow you away, but I don't know. I was somewhat into it.
Things reconnect.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't feel like this is really going to give you... I don't feel like you're going to walk away being like, yes, this was a story that I needed. More so, you're going to walk away from... by the end of this, you're going to probably say, okay, I've seen this before. It was everything I expected. And, you know. Yeah. I would more so go with Search for Hugh.
And Search for Hugh, it has very Aftershock-esque art. Like, in the same way that you said Dancing with Dragon this is iconic scout art, you know this is what it looks like. This is the art that I expect from Aftershock. It's a little more, like, almost that glazed over appearance of the art. It's got a simplistic realism to it. Yes. At the same time. But you do get that family element that's going to give you a little bit more. You know, you've got a son who finds out that his parents are connected to the classic, you know, they've been involved with the lineage of people who are running all of the Chinese or Asian. I don't actually want to say Chinese because I don't think that they are. They are. They are? Okay, I didn't. Yeah,
it's a blood feud between a Russian Jewish family and Chinese.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like I didn't want to get it wrong, so okay, good.
My only thing with this, because, I do agree, but I feel like they rushed everything.
This one does, and that is the Aftershock problem of only being 5 issues long. Because Aftershock is on this 5-issue miniseries kick for most of their books, we do get those first 2 issues always seem like they go. So this has actually got Steve Orlando as a co-writer on it. So
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would more so lean towards Search for Hugh. I think by the end of it, you'll feel more fulfilled.
Yeah, I am definitely curious, though, Jeff, if you're going to get both to see what you think and which one you're drawn towards. Because you do get a little bit... you've got classic tropes in both, but one goes in the, like, let's go on a crime spree direction, and one goes in the I have to avenge my family direction. And can kind of go either way.
And the cool thing about Search for Hugh is the main character is, I'm going to punch you first and then ask you questions afterwards.
Yeah, and I love that he brings in a partner who's like, you do realize that has never worked. Like, like that has never been a successful mission for anybody. And even you, I've been your partner for so long, this has never worked. We've got what Phil calls the most ridiculous title and premise for a book ever. This is Dead Box from Vault, also on the Nightfall imprint. This is Mark Russell writing a story. Wait for it, you are going to agree with Phil. This is Mark Russell writing a story about a small town where the red box videos are killing people.
Yes. Yes. It's absurd.
Yeah.
And the thing is when I saw the cover, I laughed at it. I thought, this is a stupid idea. Why would anyone make this into a comic? Yeah, as Matt's laughing because
it's
like, what else can you do?
Terrible. On paper, it sounds like the worst premise for a book ever.
Yeah, and I feel like Mark Russell was like, okay, I want to do a book about Redbox.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, why would you do that? This makes absolutely zero sense.
I feel like Mark Russell went with his partner to the Walgreens and was stuck, like, waiting in the car while they were in Walgreens, and he was staring at a Redbox the whole time. So you're good.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
No, you're not good. There, you're good again.
I'm good. Am I good or am I not good?
I don't know. Keep
Can I
saying
speak?
your Go ahead.
But being somebody who used Redbox a lot back when it was around, and I mean they're still around, but I feel like it's kind of something that people don't want to talk about anymore, or like they don't want to use it anymore. I appreciate that this book exists. And I like the way that it was done, because you kind of get this mystery of the main character's dad isn't feeling well, so she's looking over his convenience store, I think it's a convenience store, and she decides to rent one of the movies. It turns out that none of these movies are actual movies that anyone's heard of, but I like it because it's kind of partially her telling her story and you going through her everyday life, and then the other half of it is her watching this kind of old sci-fi movie. And honestly, the sci-fi movie, I want that to be a comic book.
And I want to know, because all of the movies, we kind of decipher that that's the premise of the book, that the movies impact the people that watch them. So I want to know how the movies are going to impact her.
Yes.
If they're going to impact her. And so I need to know how this book plays out.
Yeah, I'm definitely the same way, because when you're watching the movie that she's watching, you're like, how is this going to tie into your life?
You're good.
But yeah, I'm overly excited to see where this goes. For a book with a very stupid concept, I'm on board. And I should never doubt Mark Russell.
No.
That's just the rule that I've learned to this point. But yeah, I think this is going to be a really, really fun book. It's definitely got it takes jabs at small town America.
Absolutely. And Mark Russell is good at commentary, which we are going to talk about in a minute as well. But yeah, he's so good at social commentary blended into a story, to where sometimes you're like, oh man, I wasn't even realizing I was listening to social commentary until I got this far into the thing.
Yeah, I highly recommend picking this up. highly recommend.
I just want it to be made known that when I put the books out for Phil today, I was like, don't laugh at it. Just it's great. It's gonna be great. And everybody I've told, I'm like, so there's this book and it's got, please hear me out, because when I tell you the premise, you're gonna think it's dumb. But I promise you, it is actually not dumb. And they're like, okay, what's the book about? And I'm like, it's about a red box that kills people. And they're like, no.
Red box, but dead box.
But dead box.
Yes.
So when you hear the title and it sounds dumb and you look at it and it looks stupid, just know that it's one of the best writers. He's telling a great story. It's Nightfall. It's not going to do you wrong.
Also, be prepared to come into the store and see all of us wearing T-shirts for Deadbox.
Hurricane Schmurricane. All right, Jeff. I will sub you to Deadbox. You got it.
Jeff, you're not going wrong. It's not. It's going to be a good decision. I don't know how many issues we're going to get of it, but.
I don't either, but who knows? I'm ready. Could be 8. Yeah.
Yeah, you never know. Up next, we have Bountiful Garden. This is a Mad Cave Studios book. Again, we have another space title.
We have another space title. This one with a group of kids in space that were sent out in space because kids will live long enough to make it to where they need them to go. So they trained kids to be botanists and architects and engineers, because then they could send them off into space to wherever they need to go. And nobody has ever made it back from this mission that these kids are on, and I don't know that these kids will either.
No, I don't think so.
Not looking good. Is it like outlook not good or whatever the Magic 8 Ball says? Like,
Also, if you want to talk about tropes, this hits all of them. The book immediately starts out with them all waking up from sleep. They're way ahead of schedule.
There's a random planet nobody knew about.
Yeah, and it's like, now we have to go explore it, because if we don't, we could die. And there's something on the planet that is very clearly going to be what this book is about. The art, I like the... But I just, there were times where I was thinking, okay, am I missing something? I feel like you really need to pay attention to this book.
Yes, and part of it is that there's something afoot. There's something strange and supernaturally, like sci-fi coming at one of the characters specifically to start with. And that is part of the I don't know what's going on, because we're not supposed to.
Right.
He doesn't even necessarily know what's going on, and yet that it feels very much in the same way that, like, when you watch Alien, like the original Alien, and you've got all of those same tropes, like you just said, you check all your alien boxes, but in the same way that there's like the one character that, like with Bishop, how Bishop seems to always kind of know what was up the whole time, and you're like, I don't know if I'm supposed to trust this. I already don't, like, this kid is like the Bishop to me, and I'm like, I don't know if I trust you because you're acting shady, and maybe you're just already like going off, and then you have your tropey, like, I'm the action star guy and I need action. And I love that the one character was like, if you kill anything down there, if it's him, I'm okay with it. I was like, I respect this is going well. These kids are like already losing it. This is gonna turn into Lord of the Flies in space very quickly.
Very much so, but could also potentially have a xenomorph at some point.
It could have a xenomorph, and I'm here for that too. So,
yeah, I'm on board for this. I definitely want to give it the 3-issue rule, because I feel like, one, the art is pretty solid. It's very dark, which kind of fits with the tone of the whole book. But obviously the appeal here is going to be the sci-fi backgrounds.
And for a Mad Cave book, this feels a little deeper. The Mad Cave books a lot of times have that very, like, the classic, like, what people think indie books look like art, which stop thinking that, because indie books have some of the greatest art ever, but what people imagine, a lot of times you see that in Mad Cave. Sorry, again, everyone, we're back. The internet is, in case you don't know, which BJ you probably do, but in case everybody else hasn't experienced this, the internet is frozen again. The internet is freezing a lot right now. People have been saying they're having troubles with their cell phones even. We're actually hardwired in, but because the internet is having a lot of problems just in the area in general. I think you said possibly from a hurricane. We're going to keep going. Even if we get delayed, we're still going to stay here with you. So thanks for staying with us. Bountiful Garden, like we said, I think this is one of Mad Cave's big contenders for moving into that, like, indie circuit that people talk about a little bit more. I think this is going to be their book that gets a deeper story and kind of gives us to that point of actually referencing Mad Cave as something more than those, like, one-off books that people don't register. Okay. So, we'll see. If it keeps going in this direction, it has the ability to do that.
Tone down the tropes in issue 2, and
I think that's the problem that sci-fi in general has, because there are so many sci-fi tropes that it's hard to get out of there sometimes. Thanks, Gomez. With you to the end of the line, buddy. So, those are some of the hot new titles. We still have our picks of the weeks coming up, so thanks for sticking with us through that. We're going to give you something for hanging out with us through all of this. Prize! I've got to help Phil that's upside down. I didn't ask Matt, so I hope it's okay that I'm giving away this poster.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Cool. Okay. This is Guardians of the Galaxy poster. I'm excited to give this out today.
Oh, not that one.
Whatever. And the question today is, since we just talked about sensational... Oh, bring it down a little bit. The question for this one is, we'll go with this one. Dark Horse Comics actually began 35 years ago as an offshoot of what comic retailer? A comics retailer actually started Dark Horse Comics 35 years ago. So if you can give me the name of the store that the person owned when they created Dark Horse, you can get this. Really simple. Go to darkhorsecomics.com. It's in their About section. That is your super easy hint. So, yes, Chef, it was definitely not Marvel. So, or DC. Second good choice. Definitely neither of those. Both of those are in the 80 years range. BJ said, gonna be a large-ass maintenance on internet across a lot of ATX tonight to try and mitigate some of the fuckery happening. Thanks so much for that update, BJ, being in the internet. Not Pegasus Books, but Brett, you were on the right track because it is the same person. They actually owned a specific store. Currently, I guess, is close. I might just throw it at Brett just for being, because that is also a store that they owned. So there is one other store in Oregon that they owned Oregon that they owned in 1986 when they created Dark Horse Comics. I know I might have to go with Pegasus because they did own Pegasus too, but then they spurred out into another one. I might just give it to Brett because everybody's guessing the Pegasus side, but they have a more well-known bookstore that goes with our theme of what we've been talking about tonight with all the sci-fi stuff. That's why I'm like, I really want you to get the sci-fi named one. But if not, Brett, you are getting this either way if we decide to go with Pegasus. I'm going to give one more chance. Dark Horse Comics, offshoot of what comic retailer? I don't know. Should we just give it to Brett?
Let's do it.
Okay, Brett, we're going to give this to you because Phil doesn't want to hold this anymore. He did... I'm going to write down your whole name. And Brett, message us. If you're not in the Austin area, Brett, message us and we can ship it to you. But... yes, they did own Pegasus, but the store that they are well known for is actually Things from Another World in Oregon, which is still currently a comic book store. That is actually the store that they owned when they opened Dark Horse Comics, which the guy that started it was just upset that there wasn't really any good indie content that he could put out into his store. So he was like, you know what? I'm going to create something that puts out more indie comics. And, sneeze. Okay. Yeah, Brett, it will be in your box when you come in next time. And, I mean, if there's not enough for everybody. Okay, apparently I'm getting all of the wine. All right.
Damn.
Congratulations.
Did you want some?
No.
Okay, well, we have more wine if we need to.
There's a second bottle. There's a second bottle.
Damn, Phil wants a second
I know.
bottle.
Phil's become Nigel
I didn't
over
say
here.
that I wanted the second bottle. I just said that there is a second bottle available.
Yes. Anyway, Brett, the poster will be in your box. Thanks for playing. And we are going to move on to Phil and I's picks of the week. And I don't even know what order to do this in because I love them all.
They were all great books.
I know.
This was a really solid week for independent titles. Yes.
Okay.
I loved all these books.
Well, let's just start in case we get frozen again. So, Cinnamon is out this week. Matt's got to applaud Cinnamon. We are huge Cinnamon fans. Cinnamon is all about a cat and the adventures the cat goes on, but in the cat's imagination, she's a badass.
Yes.
Who just takes on the world as like a biker gang member, essentially, like, badass. Like,
Yeah.
it's fantastic. If you have a cat, you need to be reading Cinnamon, because it's perfect.
Yes, and for all the times, if you are a cat owner, that you sat there and wondered, I wonder what's going on in my cat's mind while they are doing X, Y, or Z.
This tells you.
This tells you, and this issue is basically a cat versus the laser pointer.
Laser pointer.
Yes, which is fantastic. It's so funny. It's well done, and I love the character. Like, I imagine that this is how my cat feels when she's playing with a laser pointer. The art is amazing, and it's just so great. I love the way this issue ends too. I feel like this is one of those books that maybe at first you'd be like, oh, I don't really see this book going anywhere.
It doesn't need to.
But it doesn't really matter. Mm-mm. But at the same time, I feel like it's going to go somewhere.
I'm just along for the journey, and if it doesn't go anywhere, you know what? Neither does my cat. My cat doesn't go anywhere either,
That's
so
true.
I'm totally in. Wherever most of the time, my cat is just asleep somewhere. So this is issue 2, Jeff, so we're only 2 issues in, and I saw that you asked for issue 1, and I do have some, so I will throw in issue 1 for you. Because you are gonna love it, Jeff. As somebody who's in love with the relationship we have with your pet in general, Jeff, you're gonna love this book. The fish might actually be my favorite character.
Yes.
Being a cat owner and loving my cat in the story is great, but the fish just gets me every time. I freaking love this fish. So pick up Cinnamon. It's great, Jeff. I got you for issue 1 and 2.
Name Sushi.
Yes, Sushi is the fish. The Me You Love in the Dark, issue 2 is out. This is Scotty Young and Jorge Corona explaining to us through art why they are one of the best teams in the world. I love the combination of these two. Middle West is one of my all-time favorite books, and this is doing it all over again. This is the story of a girl who moves into a house. She's an artist. She needs to get away. She needs time to focus on her art, and she moves into a house that is most definitely haunted. And she just kind of goes about her life, but also so does whatever is haunting the house.
Yeah, and so this issue you kind of get more of the conversation between the two, and it's a weird relationship. Also, probably the nicest, most cordial.
Yes.
Ghost. Very respectful, and I'm in,
and yet I don't know that it's gonna stay that way, but I'm curious to see how it goes.
See, I feel differently.
I don't know. Because that last shot in this issue just makes me nervous.
Yes.
Which don't show that. But
I won't.
No, but...
Yeah. I kind of feel like this is maybe going the opposite route.
Could.
Based on towards the end of this issue. And
I don't know. But that's the thing I like about Scotty. The thing I'm actually really curious to see is Scotty Young and Jorge Corona. They have this beautiful, like, symbiotic relationship between their words and their art, because Scotty is an artist and he is and he's writing. And so the way that he works with Jorge is just absolutely wonderful. And I think that you never know where, like, the stories kind of unfold through both perfectly. And so I'm like, I don't know, because, like, the words say one thing, and I'm like, oh, this is where the story's going with the words. But then, like, Jorge's art is like, am I supposed to be leading in a different direction? Am I supposed to be going in that direction? I don't know, but I'm drawn to this art, and I, like, the beauty of Jorge Corona's art is that you could literally read the story without the words.
Oh, yeah.
And yet the words that Scotty adds to it are just perfect every time.
Yeah. This book, I think you're getting your $4 worth just on how well this book is put together. There's no doubt that, and I have, again, I have 100% faith in this creative team to make it work.
Absolutely.
Wherever it's going. Whether it's going to go badly or it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
Either way,
it's going to be great.
I'm on board. There's no doubt.
Yeah. I have nothing else to say about that.
Yes. The Me You Love in the Dark, Scotty Young, Jorge Corona. Maybe one of those powerhouse creative teams, kind of like Brubaker and Phillips.
We're going to see that nominated for an Eisner next year.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt.
One way or another, like either for the art, for the story, either way, it's going to get nominated. I'm going to do the one that I picked, and then we'll do the one that you picked, and then we'll go to 2 more that we agree with, and then 2 more that we each picked.
Okay.
So this is Mamo, which is honestly and truthfully just Boom Box, which is the teen imprint of Boom's Miyazaki film of the year, because we've had we had Wind, we continuously have Wind, which is also like Legend of Zelda meets Miyazaki, but this is, what if Kiki didn't want to be the witch of the village in Kiki's Last Delivery? This is the story of a young girl who is, her grandmother was the village witch, and when the village witch dies, the next one is supposed to take over, and she has no desire to. Problem is, grandma cursed the whole town, and she has to undo all of these curses. So whether she wanted to be the village witch or not, she's the only person who can undo the curses on the entire town. And so she's working with one of the girls from the community to undo these magical curses that have been put on the town, and kind of learning who she is and learning who this other girl is at the same time, and building this beautiful friendship. And it's literally just a Miyazaki film. There's no other way to describe it. The art even looks like it.
Yeah, this art is fantastic. And as I open that page,
Frozen, hang on. Go for it.
As I opened the book and you said that, I was like, oh yes, this is very fantastic. I love this art. And Boombox has been putting out great material, so absolutely. I feel like, this is going to be a hit start to finish.
Yeah, Jeff asked if it's different curses for everyone. It's not different curses for everyone. It's different curses along different parts of the border, because witchcraft deals a lot in the directional magic, and so it's different curses along the border of the town.
Also, this book feels heavier.
It is very thick. It is a long book. Every time you get to... And it's always a bigger book.
Okay.
Every issue has actually been a little bit bigger. I am actually out of issue 1. This is issue 3. I'm out of issue 1. I'm waiting for... I need to look and see if Boom has any more available for order. If not, I'm going to start, sending messages to Morgan and Ross Ritchie and seeing if they can get me some more copies of issue 1. So I'm going to check and see, Jeff, I'll let you know if issue 1 is available still, and if not, we are going to start asking some questions from Boom to see when they will be. This is you.
Yes. I am shocked, and I don't know if I have fallen into a parallel universe, because one of my favorite books on the shelf right now is a Marvel book. I think 90% of it has to do with the art in this. Javier Rodriguez does some amazing artwork. It is a cosmic book. You have Doctor Strange, Silver Surfer, Harpy, the Masked Raider, and there's one more person on the team that I cannot think of at the moment. And they're not even on the cover, which is a bummer.
Are they on the cover of the other one?
I think so. I believe there's one more.
I mean, Silver Surfer's on the cover.
I think there's one more. Maybe there's not.
I got you the other cover.
Oh, Cloud. Cloud is the other one. This is the Masked Raider shows up to Doctor Strange and says, "Hey, we have to time travel to save the universe." Essentially, and in these first 2 issues, you are tied to the story of Galactus and also Galactus's mother, which I didn't know was a thing.
Right.
The art in this book is magnificent. There are some full-page spreads. It's very psychedelic, very colorful. It's very unique in some of the way that they do some of these page layouts. In this book, you get a little bit more of some Silver Surfer stuff in this, and it's great. It is the first book that I read this week. I rushed immediately to the shelf when I saw that because it's just, this art is just unbelievably beautiful. I'm fully on board for anything and everything that's going to have Javier Rodriguez on it. But again, this is just kind of a team up cosmic romp,
Yeah.
And I think the big appeal also for this book, I don't know anything about the Masked Raider. Supposedly he is a Golden Age character, but you don't know who is behind the mask.
No.
So there's also that, just look at that artwork. It's so beautiful. I would put this in my top books out, period.
Wow.
Up there with Homesick Pilots, up there with The Heavy. I love this book, and I will talk highly of it every issue. And again, it also, this book kind of makes me want to explore more Marvel stuff. So
Nice.
maybe this has opened up the floodgates for me to start reading Marvel again, which I don't need to.
Good job, Al Ewing and Javier Rodriguez.
Yes, yeah, I love it.
Jeff Lemire is back at it, and this is May's book. This is one of those books that when I saw it in the previews catalog, I was like, okay, this book's good. I didn't even need to read it yet. It didn't even exist. It was 2 months out. I was like, Jeff Lemire doing a story called May's book. The premise is so good. This is going to be amazing. I'm already on board for the entire series. And he didn't disappoint. So
yeah,
this is the story of a dad who, his daughter has died, and she died when...
Well, we don't know.
We don't know. Well, that's what we know. That is what we know. That's all.
We know that she's not around.
He thinks she's dead.
Right.
That's all we know, is she died. We know that. But there may be more to that story than is actually true. And this dad who has lost his daughter when she was 11 has come to find himself at a point where maybe she's not gone, and their thing was mazes together and, solving all of these puzzles, and now he feels like the whole world is a giant maze to find a way back to his daughter.
Yeah. And the thing that I like about this book is the main character has kind of given up on life because he doesn't have his daughter. He's fallen into the routine, and it's a very bleak
It's
book.
very bleak to start with.
And there's moments where you're just like, oh, this character's given up. But he is also, given, possibilities for things to change, which I'm very excited for. I think this book is really well put together. It's very poetic.
It's very poetic
in the way that it's written.
This is issue 1, to answer Jeff's question. This is issue 1, and the whole time the dad is talking about a sweater and how the daughter stole his favorite sweater that his wife hated, and it had holes, and it's all this, and he's like, and I can't remember her face, but I can remember her wearing the sweater. And I love the way the art's done, because since he says he can't remember her face, whenever he sees these flashbacks, we can't see her face. in it. But the whole time also we see this little thread, and it's like the lifeline for him is the sweater. So we see the threads of the sweater being drawn through every page of the book, because that's the thread tying her to him and him to her. And it's so, like you said, it's just a poetic piece of literature.
Yeah.
And this is one of those books where when people say, oh, comics aren't real literature, I'm going to hand people this and say, prove it. Because I'm going to, imagery is on display in this book, even without the art. But then add the art into it, and like you showed that page a while ago, or even the one you have up there right now where he's in there and there's all the thread like making up his existence. Like that's all that he has left is this one thread, and that's such a beautiful way to do art. Like if that was a painting in an art gallery, nobody would ever question its integrity and its beauty. And it's done so, like, you would get that if you went to an art gallery and you saw a painting of that full page spread that you just showed. You'd be like, oh, this is the fact that like this person is drawn by a thread, he's hanging by a thread, he's living off of this one thread he's pulling on. You get all of those analogies from that, and it's the center focus of the story, and it's done so well, and it feels so good to read this story and know that wherever Jeff Lemire goes from here, it's just going to be beautiful.
Yeah. If you're a fan of his work like Underwater Welder or Essex County, where it's very grounded and very kind of, small, and here's, we're not going to see, like, you're not going to get a very, like, worldly book. It's all going to be very tied and rooted into this character, this main character. It's beautiful. And
Josh, our volunteer, read it, and he was like, I feel like there were things missing because some of the pages are completely blank. And he goes, but I think that was on purpose. Like, that's obviously on purpose.
Yeah.
And Matt and I were like, we haven't even read the book yet, and we're just going to tell you that the book is the puzzle. You are solving the maze. You are in the maze with him. You're solving it. And then I read it, and I was like, nope, that's exactly what I got out of it. Exactly what we thought is that Jeff Lemire built a maze. And he said that.
Right.
He says that in his letter in the back. Like, I worked my way through this maze to the center and tried to figure out where it led on the other side. And I am so curious to see how he's going to do this, because it's going to be a phenomenal book the whole way through.
Yeah. 100%.
If you've never read Jeff Lemire but you watch Sweet Tooth, that is the same person.
Yes.
And so if you enjoyed the Netflix show Sweet Tooth, that is the same writer. Come check this out as a great way to get into some of his independent titles.
Yeah.
Next up, Not All Robots. This is from Mark Russell. It's also from AWA Upshot. This is their title of the week. This is issue 2. And this is the story of a world where we have been replaced by robots as humans. All jobs are now done by robots for the most part, except for like hair cutters. I love that, like, hairstylists are one of the few jobs, like, they are now considered like the leaders of the free world for humans, because they're one of the only human jobs that are still out there. So they're now like human leaders, and I love that. I love that it's like the service industry becomes like the leaders of the human race, because it's the only jobs that like humans are still doing. But humans have been replaced with robots. We all have a house robot at this point, and I love that the robot in this family particularly has already come into the slump. We're so far into having robots that now the robots have hit the slump entirely.
Right.
They're like, now they're even like in this issue, they're trying to make robots that look like people, which means we're just going to be replaced by these new robots. And like, oh, I'm trying to just do learn how to engineer these robots so I don't go obsolete, which is of course what we hear humans say now. Better learn how to make robots or you're going to become obsolete.
Right.
And it's such an interesting way to see that conversation like keep going.
The thing that I loved about this book is almost right off the bat they crap on the justice system and how terrible it is. But yeah, there's a lot of different social commentary that's kind of going on throughout this book. You have humans dealing with being obsolete. and trying to figure out, you know, the next best action to take.
Mm-hmm.
But you also have robots kind of in the same situation. So it's kind of commentary on this just never-ending cycle
Right.
of in all honesty, just trying to make it along and figure out your purpose and why you're here.
I even love that comment where they're like, well, why are we supposed to protect, like, human life? Like, why is human life sacred when humans, no matter what they have and what they do, like, they're never happy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, they're, you know, why? They sound miserable no matter what we do. Like, why are we supposed to, like, do anything to help them along the way? And it was one of those, like, hey, like, that's, like, your moment where Mark Russell's like, hey, by the way, like, maybe be excited about something every once in a while, because, like, your robot overlords won't be able to process that you don't care about things.
Yeah. This is a really, I'm going to say this is a smart book.
Yes.
Because the imagery mixed with the social commentary, it hits so perfectly together. There's moments in this book where you're like, wow, I feel like I'm actually reading something worthwhile here. Yeah.
And I feel like Mark Russell is always good at that, but I think he's definitely hit that stride. Like, we're seeing that with even Dead Box. Like, there's that whole commentary on, like, because there's the narration of what she's reading at the same time that gives you that commentary on humans and how we're affected by things. And Mark Russell has spent the year and a half, 2 years, whatever you want to call it at this point, of being inside has made Mark Russell really question what all of humanity is doing, I feel like. And we're seeing that in Second Coming. We're seeing that in Dead Box. We're seeing that in Not All Robots. Like, Mark Russell really wants to know what the hell we're doing here and when we're going to figure it out and when we're going to act on that. Because everything that has become really, really introspective for our society as a whole in what he's writing. And I think, like you said, it does feel like that elevated form of literature, like where you are like, oh wow, that imagery, what he was trying to say there, like he just painted a picture with it. And, you know, Gomez just compared it to iRobot, and it does have a little bit of like those elements to it where you're like, oh, the robots are questioning their place in that society.
Well, they've become very human themselves.
Yeah.
So imagine that iRobot ended and then robots slowly become the humans.
Or just thinking about just Sunny's character in iRobot and how Sunny's like, but I thought that's what we all were here for.
Right.
But like, imagine that like Sunny is now like overworked and tired and is like, nobody appreciates me. Yeah. Because you do have a robot who's like, nobody appreciates me, I'll be in the garage like when it comes home from work. It's like, and then the same way Mark Russell writes in the people who sympathize, and it's like, hey, the robots are literally trying to kill us, and it's like, no, they would never do that. Like, no, but the robots wouldn't try to kill us. The robots are here specifically to help make our lives better. And they're like, they literally just killed an entire, like, city of people.
But it's Orlando, so it doesn't matter. They literally say that in the book. Like, it's Orlando. It's not like they were, like, high and mighty type.
Right, and it's like, but, you know, like, but, and they're like, but they're still, those are people. And they're like, I mean, but, it's like, yeah, and then the commentary on the justice system with the, like, boop, 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 boop.
Right, like early on in this book, it's so great. It's so great. It's
so good. Mark Russell's got a lot to say, and if you don't want to hear it, you're still going to enjoy the story. But if you are willing to listen and pay attention, you're going to love the conversation that he's having.
1000% yes. It's funny, and there's a message there. Like, I'm laughing in some pages, and then on the very last page, there's like an actual message that like
every time.
Something that's being said, but yeah.
I'm sorry. I took a drink right when Brett said, I lived in Orlando, can confirm. I was trying really hard to swallow that drink.
Yeah, I've only been to Orlando once, and
I love Disney World.
Probably never go back.
I love Disney World, and I would go all the time. But, Yeah, but absolutely. And that's Mark Russell's big thing, is the last couple of pages are going to teach you a lesson every time.
Yes.
We got 2 more books from the same press, but we picked different books to be our favorite this week. So what you got?
Yes, this is Blackjack Demon #2 from Literati Press. Nick Hermes is the writer and artist on this book. I immediately fell in love with this book on issue 1 because of the art. It's very well done. I just love the way it's drawn. It's very colorful, and it just seems it's a refreshing style of art. In the first book, there's a 14-year-old boy who sees his father killed by a demon, who then takes over the skin of his dad and kind of parades around as his father. Yeah, and he decides that that's all he has left, so he is going to travel the Wild West and hunt down this demon. In this issue, you kind of get him going into a few small towns. You get to see some different characters along the way. You start to see a little bit more character development with him, aside from him just being kind of an angry kid. You see him interacting with a girl, which is interesting because there's moments where you're like, oh, seems like he's a sly ladies man, but then he's also just kind of an angry 14-year-old boy.
Yeah, for sure.
And this issue just continues to further prove how much I love this book.
And I agree. And issue 1, I was like, oh, this is really good. I'm not, like, I don't know if I care about Westerns enough. And then issue 2, I was like, nope, I care. I care a lot. And I actually, my uncle is a farmer. And he talks like Boomhauer. And has that all he wants to watch is Westerns. Like, when I was a kid, he literally would get up at 4 a.m, go work on an actual farm and do cowboy shit all day, and then would come in at noon for lunch, and then would go work some more on the farm, and then would come back, and then, like, at night, like 5 o'clock, he'd eat his dinner, and then all he wanted to do was watch Westerns. And every time I read Western books and stuff, I just think, like, oh, there's still that idolized, like, there's still the, like, made-up, like, Western thing, and they like, but they're, like, missing parts of the movies. Like, even if you're gonna do the idolized Western, like, you're missing part of it. I love this because I feel like it actually got all the elements of the movie in there. Like, it gets all the Western elements of the movies, but it's also, it's a little kid, so he's got, like you said, he's got that self-conscious, like, level to it where he's like, oh, I'm so cool because I'm on my own fighting this demon. And then he's like, no, wait, I'm just a 14-year-old boy, and
right.
I don't really know what I do. Jeff asked if this is modern day or pioneer. This is 100% like Old
pioneer.
West, pioneer, like classic Western story. You would see this in black and white on TMC, like at any point in time, and it would not feel out of place.
Right.
You get your sheriffs, you get your like posses coming for you, you get all of that classic stuff, but you're also chasing a demon.
Right.
In his father's skin. And so there's so many levels of depth to this. It's strange in the way it sounds, but it reads so well.
Is it like Leatherface?
Yes, he takes people's faces. He literally takes people's faces when he kills them.
He goes into disguise. Here they kind of pitch it as he's a leper. Right? So even though he may not look like a normal human because of him prancing around in someone else's skin, they're kind of like, oh, well, he's a leper, he's a sickly old man, it's totally okay.
And that's all they think it is because that's the time period too. So
yes, I highly recommend this book.
Blackjack Demon #2. I have Glamorella's Daughter #2 that I'm going to pass to you. This is also from Literati Press, and I love this book. We actually had Jerry Bennett and Charles Martin, who do this book. We had them both out at the shop a couple months ago for the release of issue 1, and I got a chance to talk with them with our good friend Rodney, who you can find on social media as at Rod, the, if you're interested in what he has to say about comics. And we got a chance to sit down and talk to him about this book, and it's fantastic. It is the story of a little girl, and she is actually the daughter of a superhero, but she's autistic. And so the idea of being in this, her mom is not only a superhero, but she, of course, in the way that superheroes would be in our real world, she's like a celebrity. And everything is about, oh, you have to go to the big, you have to go be popular. You have to fit in. You have to do all these things. And her daughter is like, I just want to read books. And I just want to do science stuff. Mm-hmm. And I don't want friends. I have my friend. Why do I need to make another friend? And she's like, well, because you need to be popular and have all the friends. And she's like, but I have a friend. And she's like, but you need to make more friends. And she's like, no, I don't. And what I really like about this book is that Charles has an autistic son. And so Charles said, if my son would be offended by the dialogue, I take it out. Mm-hmm. If he would never say it, I take it out. He's like, this isn't a book about, oh, this is what it's like to have autism, or this is what that means. He's like, this is about a family where, the mother and the father have an autistic child, and the autistic child is the main character, but that's just one part of their personality, and it's not going to necessarily play into it in all capacities, but it is in the sense that the parents have to come to understand parts of that personality of their child. And I love that Charles is using his real life experiences and drawing into those for this story, and incorporating that into the story, because it does give it more of that real element. But even just as a kid who was like, I'm reading, leave me alone, as a child, I love this main character, because you do get, in this issue, a giant portal has opened up, and the dad is the scientist person, and so the dad is trying to stop this portal, and he's taken his daughter to work. And they're while all the adults are freaking out about this portal being open and trying to keep this monster from coming through, she just walks up and works on it. And the dad's like, well, what did you do? How did you fix that? And she's like, well, when your math was off. And the dad's like, what do you mean my math was off? And she's like, well, it's could happen to anybody. Right. And explains it to him, how his math was off. And then he's like, okay, well then, okay, that's fine. And then they're having a conversation, and something else, and I don't want to spoil what it is, comes up, and the daughter's like, oh, well, it only took me about 30 seconds to figure out what was wrong with your math, so in the rest of the time that I was working on your computer, I figured out all of these other things that were going on. And I love that. So she kind of has that Lunella, Moon Girl mm-hmm. feel to her, because she does know more than literally everybody else in the book. So you do get this is a character who's just an absolute genius. But it's not her thing for most of the stuff. And so she's just sits there with her nose in the book most of the time, and her mom's in this issue, in issue 2, she gets invited to the most popular girl in school is having a Glamarella, which is her mother. She's having a Glamarella themed birthday party, and she wants Glamarella to show up. So of course she invites her to the party, even though they're not friends. Right. And she's upset about it, and that she has to invite her. And the mom finds out, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, you've been invited! We have to get you a new dress. We have to do this." And she's like, "Oh, I'm not going." And she's like, "No, you have to go." And she's like, "No, I don't like those people. I don't have she's like, I don't have to go." And the mom's like, no, but that's how it works. You were invited. The popular kids want you to associate with them. And so I also love this for a message for kids that, hey, just because the popular kids, quote unquote, are suddenly paying attention to you doesn't mean you have to change who you are. Right. And I absolutely love that as a message for kids who may be reading this, or adults, because let's be honest, there are a lot of adults who are like, oh my gosh, the popular kids suddenly like me, I have to sell out on all of my principles so that I can be cool with them. And it's like, no, but stay home and read your book if that's what you want to do. You don't have to fit in with that mold, because you fit into the mold that you were created for. And right. Be yourself, and it's beautiful. And that's Glamorella's Daughter, issue 2. And just in case you don't stick around because the internet has been crazy all night, I want to throw out right now that Literati Press will actually be at the shop tomorrow. I know, shocker, the shop's usually closed on Monday nights, but we are hosting a special event from 7 to 9 p.m. tomorrow with Literati Press. It'll be taking place in the backyard. They are doing an ink and draw, and their artists are going to be out, and their educators are going to be out to help teach about art styles. So, and we're going to be playing some fun games. I think they want to do like a Pictionary style thing with their ink and draw, so they're going to throw out some random stuff, kind of like a Story Cubes, but with art.
Nice.
And they're going to be working on helping us learn some drawing techniques. If you are an artist, they are going to be looking at portfolios. So bring your art and show it off, and come meet the Literati Press people tomorrow. Other than that, those are our picks of the week. We are going to give you a prize for watching. Prize! He's not even paying attention this time.
Prize.
Jeff said something about Story Cubes, so Phil was distracted.
Yeah, I was intrigued.
He was like, ooh, Story Cubes. We are going to give a copy of Trial of Magneto #1. This is that beautiful Art Germ Scarlet Witch cover. We are also giving away this copy of the Green Lanterns. I'm actually just giving it away because I think the cover is beautiful. It's got Jessica on it, and I'm always in favor of things Jessica Cruz on them. So, the question is, Literati Press began as a publisher for local Oklahoma creators in what year? Much like that Dark Horse question, you can find it by going to their website. If you look up Literati Press, you can find the answer to this in their About section. That is the secret. Backstory on Literati Press while people are looking that up. Literati Press actually has an actual art gallery and a bookstore that they're based out of. So they are also, they run this art gallery, and they bring in Oklahoma artists to the gallery, and in that space they were like, hey, we should make some comic books, and they take these art gallery people and they give them art. Yes, Jeff, that is absolutely correct. It was in 2010. Jeff, you are getting this Green Lanterns book, which I know you'll love because you're a huge Green Lanterns fan. Cool and cover. Trial of Magneto. I will tell you, I read Trial of Magneto without reading any other X-Men book. And I actually got everything that's going on, so you will be great. So enjoy, Jeff. I'm sad that you won't be here to come for the art thing tomorrow night because I feel like you would enjoy it.
I'll FaceTime you, Jeff.
There you go. Phil will FaceTime you from the art experience tomorrow. You laugh, but he might actually do it. Now you have to because he said yes. So, we've got a lot of other books in stock this week. It was a huge week with the internet being a little bit slow and choppy earlier in the thing. We've kind of moved some of our picks, our hot new titles in stock even back to this. So there's going to be a lot that we're going to blow through really fast. Behemoth Comics has a new title out called Nine Stones. This is, I'm going to throw out what this is about really fast because you won't know otherwise. This is about a kid whose dad is rich and is a drug lord, and he ends up having to help run the drugs, and there's some demons and vampires and all other kinds of things going on in this. It was actually really interesting.
Yeah, story I'm a little uncertain about, but I do like this art style. It's kind of video game mixed with like anime.
Yeah.
I'm definitely intrigued.
Me too. Six Sidekicks of Trigger Keaton is one of Phil's favorites.
Yes, I don't ever want this book to end. It's only getting better by the issue as they... your ragtag team of sidekicks for Trigger Keaton, who is kind of the most beloved action star, but also the most hated. He was a real asshole, and they're trying to figure out who murdered him.
Yeah.
And it could be just about anyone, but, you know, it's your ragtag team of people who can't do anything right.
Yeah. Helm Grey Castle, issue 4 is out this week. This is by Henry Barajas. This is a really cool book because it is actually a story. It's a... A story about kids playing, like, you've got, like, this ultimate quest kind of thing going on, but what's cool about it is at the back of the book, you actually get the RPG. Like, if you're a D&D player, you actually get all the directions on how to play the game that is talked about in this. Like, you can do the same campaign that is kind of happening within the story. Mm-hmm. So for all of my tabletop gamers, this is a great way to actually play that game at the same time. Henry is also one of the marketing managers for Oni Press, but I think it's really cool that this book is not even from Oni Press, so we've got some like cross publisher cool work going on here. But love it. It's super rich in Latinx culture too. So if you're like, hey, where are all my Latinx culture books? That is actually a really good one. And Henry and I have been talking about the educational value of it over on LinkedIn the last few weeks, and how great it has a lot of concepts in it. So nice. Really into that. That trade's coming soon, actually. Green Lantern is out with both an annual and a new issue this week.
Number 6.
Yeah. Shang-Chi issue 4 is out. This is Shang-Chi versus the Marvel Universe, essentially. Written by Jean Yuan Lang, so it's perfect. Savage Avengers issue 24 is out. Toxin, this is part of the Extreme Carnage run that is out. We have some more covers of, I believe all of them. I did find the other trading card one, and I already put it in the pile for you. Daredevil issue 34, I think is what I just handed you, is out. Something that a lot of people didn't know until this week, because they caught it on this issue, is that Miles Morales is celebrating his 10-year anniversary, and every Marvel title is getting a Miles Morales 10-year anniversary cover. So if you are a Miles fan and you are looking to collect some cool Miles variants, this is one of them.
Also, one issue left.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is almost the end of the series.
There's
one more left. I heard an interview. Chip is not done with Daredevil, however.
I actually can confirm that because I've already ordered the next series. So.
Yeah, so they're kind of doing, I guess, like a soft reboot with Daredevil, but yeah, Chip is still on the character.
Yeah, Jeff, we can get you a Daredevil Miles cover. Brett, if you'd like, I can throw one in your box too. I believe I have another one. So I can definitely pull one for you, Brett, if you're interested. That is Batman Catwoman. This is Tom King's Batcat story that we've been waiting for forever. I had somebody tell me just yesterday that they did not know Phantasm was in this book. So if you are like, I'm a Mask of Phantasm person, this is your story. So and it's Tom King, so it should be everybody's story.
7 of 12.
Batman Fear State issue 112. This is the James Tynion Batman story. Fear State is your title. Fear State Alpha came out a couple weeks ago. Everybody was like, oh, I don't want this. I'm only reading the main title for Batman. That is the main title for Batman. Yeah. It is Fear State. So get that.
And this is the last arc?
Yes, that will be the last of Tynion's run.
So make sure, if you've enjoyed Tynion's run, to pick up all the Fear State stuff, because it'll be his end of Batman. Probably forever.
Probably.
He's going to ascend to bigger, better things.
Absolutely. Jeff, let me know which Batman Catwoman issues you already have, if any. And then, Brett, I got you on that Miles Daredevil. I will get you one. Blue and Gold issue 2 is out. This is Booster Gold and Blue Beetle working together. Deadpool Black, White, and Blood issue 2. X-Force issue 23 is out. Suicide Squad had an annual, and I believe the issue also came out this week, or the issue might have been last week. The War of the Bounty Hunters continues with both Star Wars and Dr. Aphra titles this week. This is a huge Boba Fett cover week on Star Wars titles, so if you're a Boba Fett collector, you need all the covers. Issue 73 of Spider-Man is out. Speaking of people being confused, Sinister War was a part of, it tied into the story. It was a 4-part connecting thing, kind of like when they did The Last Remains, where you needed the Last Remains title and the actual main title. Sinister War did the same kind of thing. The Sinister War story is technically over. It wraps up on here. And comic book news, this retcons one of the worst stories in the history of Spider-Man. So thank you, Nick Spencer, for fixing
Clone
something
Saga?
you messed up in the one.
Clone Saga?
The Gwen Stacy thing with
twins.
the twins. Yes, if you know what that is.
Goblin twins.
Huh?
Goblin
The
twins.
Goblin twins.
Oh, I don't know.
I don't know what I handed you.
This is
Justice League
Justice
Infinity.
number 3.
Yes, this is for fans of the Justice League animated series. You need this.
By DeMatteis.
Yes, J.M. DeMatteis. Black Cotton. Matt's so happy.
It's the actual.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Black Cotton number 5. Black Cotton is made by Black creators, and they twist the saga on, like our real world on its head, and it's what if white people were the minorities and a Black police officer had shot a white person who was doing nothing wrong. How would the world respond then? And it is done by a Black creative team because they want to have that conversation. It's a great, great story. Read it. Mighty Morphin number 11. This is the ongoing. They're currently doing their House of X, Powers of X kind of thing where you don't have to read both, but they do have the similar numbers, and the legacy numbers go off in between the two.
12?
This is 11.
This is 11.
Yeah.
Out
Out of 12. Oh, yes.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's good to know.
The Shepherd. This is part 1 of a new Shepherd title, and I am working to figure out what happened to the rest of it. Ordinary Gods is back. This is issue 3. This is a really cool title about some gods being reincarnated in our world, kind of in the similar saga to Wicked and Divine, but in an epic battle, much different. It's much more detailed than... Yes, it's Kyle Higgins who is doing Radiant Black. That is actually the key there. Sorry, I left that out.
And
Power Rangers. But for all you Radiant Black fans, if you haven't picked up Ordinary Gods, Kyle Higgins is doing both of that story as well. And we'll be at Fan Expo Dallas next weekend. Whatever I just handed you.
Black Manta.
Black Manta, issue 1. This is a limited series from DC about Black Manta right before the new Aquaman series starts. Speaking of new series, Kazar has a new series
Cover.
And a nice Peach Momoko cover. Yes. And then Jeff, this is exactly why you don't watch the live stream. Jeff is like, what? Kyle Higgins is doing Ordinary Gods.
Ordering every book.
I know. You're
Jeff won the lottery this week.
Right, this was your week, Jeff. Please add Mighty Morphin 11 and the latest Masters of the Universe for Ram. Ram, I already got you. You already got those in your box. Don't worry, buddy. Never Never. This is a heavy metal title about a cannibalistic Peter Pan.
It's terrifying.
It is very terrifying. Star Trek Mirror War issue 0. This is a new Star Trek title from IDW. Moonshine continues on with issue 27.
Brian
Azzarello. Please don't write Wonder Woman or Mira or any of those. MFKZ. If you watch the movie on Netflix, you need to read the comic because it's adorable and goes along with that. But yeah, I've had people come in going, I just watched that show and I didn't know there was a comic. But Masters of the Universe Revelation, as Ram pointed out, this is the new Masters of the Universe title. This is Kevin Smith, and you're not reading it.
Is he writing? Oh
yeah.
My gosh. Do you have the other 2 issues?
I should, yes.
Okay, because I love this
needs
show.
Masters
Manola
of the
cover
Universe.
on number 1.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, Mike Mignola does the cover on number 1.
Do you have them?
I do.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yes.
Because I loved Revelations.
Well, you're going to love the
So-
comic because it goes right on. Ram and Henry, one of our other subscribers, are both talking about how perfect the comic is to go with the show.
Oh, fantastic.
And Brett says MFKZ on Netflix is so good. And yes, you did. You picked up issues 1 and 2 last week. Locust from Scout Comics is issue 3. This is like a apocalyptic story with giant locusts, which every time I walk outside and cicadas are attacking me, I feel like this is exactly my experience in life. Excellence is back. This is a Skybound title that has has finally picked up where it left off, much in like the way Seven to Eternity took a long time to come back. We are back with excellence. Elric the Dreaming. This also has Mignola titles for those of you who are covers. Sorry, for those of you who are fans of that. Deadly Class. Speaking of books that took forever to come back but are now back and wrapping up. Excalibur number 23 is out. Swamp Thing, issue 7 of 10. Chad, I don't know if you're still watching, but Chad did tag me in a tweet earlier today or yesterday that said Ram V is now officially calling this volume 1 of his Swamp Thing run.
Yes.
So, woohoo!
Thank you.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Really excited to see
more.
Ram V keep going with that Swamp Thing because it's been very good. Infinite Frontier is wrapping up. This is issue 6, the final issue of Infinite Frontier with the Great Dark Side experience on there. Matthew Rosenberg's Joker book, the only Joker book that I actually really need to check out because I haven't checked it out yet, and I love Matthew Rosenberg's writing, so I need to see what his puzzle is that we're doing. I also feel like the puzzle should have been a Riddler book. I feel like it was... Time out. I feel like this was pitched as a Riddler story, and AT&T was like, no, I'm sorry, we can only do Batman or the Joker right now. And so now it's the Joker's puzzle box, but to me, I really think it should have been a Riddler story. Just saying.
It's too much Joker.
I've
heard good things about this book already. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to read about the Joker anymore.
I will say, there was 3 new Batman and 1 new Joker title on the FOC tonight. So it's still going. DC Horror presents The Conjuring. I've heard great things about this, actually.
Really?
From the people who are picking it up. And I was like, oh, this is one of those titles that I accidentally get to take the order down. And Matt was like, we're probably going to sell out. And was like, we actually always do. So this is a title that does sell out. Guillermo says, I do need to read and I will understand. Okay. I will, because I'm actually curious about Matthew Rosenberg writing the Joker. I
love Matthew Rosenberg.
I love Matthew Rosenberg. Conan the Barbarian, issue 300, celebratory issue. Got one of those really cool collage covers. I actually don't even order Conan for the store, but I do love those collage issues, so I ordered this. Yeah, Matt might be claiming that. You guys might not be getting it because it is gorgeous.
Garzan?
That is a great...
Yes, Matt loves those. Jeff, I'm going to send you a text message after this show to recap all of the books that you said you wanted and make sure I'm on the right path. And then Army of Darkness 1979 is out this week. Gomez, I saved this for last because I felt like you might be into this, but there is an Army of Darkness title back out from Dynamite. Here it is.
Is that a Sidem cover?
Mm-hmm. Might be. There were a lot of covers for that. Is it? Yep, Sidem. There are a lot of covers for that Army of Darkness, and I loved all of
I
them.
didn't realize that came out.
Yeah,
So-
if you look in the previews, Dynamite has so many covers for every book.
Dynamite does in the most incentives too. Dynamite does a 1 in 7, a 1 in 10, a 1 in 15, a 1 in 20, a 1 in 30, a 1 in 35. So, see, Gomez, I knew you would want the Army of Darkness. I ordered it with you in mind, buddy.
And let me know how it is, Gomez, because I'm a fan of the Army of Darkness movie, but I felt like some of those early Army of Darkness comics were not that great.
Yeah.
But they continue to still publish this title.
Yeah.
With crossovers and all this other stuff. So definitely let me know what you think of the book.
Yeah, and I got you down for Joker too, buddy. So those are just those are most of the books in stock. I think I actually grabbed all of them this week. There might be like 1 or 2 that I missed, but there's a lot of great books out this week. If you want to hear about any of them, feel free to come by the store anytime and talk to me. Just remember, I had somebody come in the other day that said, hey, do you know anything about any indie books that you could recommend for me? Don't come tell me that unless you're prepared to be here for an hour, because I will literally take you to the wall and tell you about every book on the shelf. So if you want to know about every book on the shelf, come in and ask me to tell you about any of the new indies. If you want specific recommendations, give me a heads up in advance, because otherwise I'm going to talk you through all of them. There's a reason this show is 3 hours long.
Yeah.
So There you go. That's what's in stock. Let's give them a prize, Matt.
Prize.
Ah, so close, Phil. So close. Prize! Alright, since we just talked about Batman books taking over the world, here is a Batman Secret Files for the Signal. We are also going to give you a copy of Phantom on the Scan #1. Cue Chad in the comments telling you how much he loves Phantom on the Scan. This is a Cullen Bunn book from Aftershock that just actually wrapped up. Thank you, Ram. Ram yelled prize in the comments. I appreciate the support, Ram. And you can win both of these books if you can tell me. We'll do our Jeff Lemire question. Jeff Lemire kicked off his comic career with what self-published award-winning title? It was in 2005. You can find it on his Wikipedia. That is your hint. If you can tell me what was Jeff Lemire's kicked off his comic career with what self-published award-winning title in 2005, you can win both of these prizes. Again, just go to his Wikipedia, look up the first little section, and it'll tell you. Chad, I love that quote. I really love Phantom on the Scan a lot. Chad Bokelman. Oh, man. It was not Rednecks. Yes, Gomez, you are winning both of these prizes.
Chad, is Phantom on the Scan your favorite Cullen Bunn title?
Ooh.
Would you say?
Right, Chad. Oh, the current ones, not just in general or all time?
Is Keanu Reeves in it?
No.
Yes.
No.
He wrote and stars. The funny thing is, at the end of this issue, you discover that Keanu Reeves and Cullen Bunn, same person.
Whoa.
Hold that up again.
Where's your mind-blowing thing? It does look like Keanu Reeves.
It does. It definitely does.
Ooh, are we whistling at Keanu Reeves? Do you find Keanu Reeves
People
hot?
love him.
Oh, I'm
Don't they
just
love
asking
him?
if... Yes, they do,
Oh,
but I
yeah.
was
That's
wondering
the
if you
internet.
did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'm just wondering. Chad said no, Lucky Devil.
Okay.
Amen, Chad. Amen.
Okay.
Johnny Mnemonic.
Also, new
Not
Matrix
Cullen
trailer is out, so...
Right, I don't watch trailers, so don't talk about it. Don't talk
I
about
don't-
the Matrix
I'm not
trailer
gonna
because
talk
Matt
about
will
it.
cry.
I'm just excited there's another Matrix movie.
Yes. Matt is very excited about it.
Okay.
There you go. Look at that.
Shane doesn't like it.
No, that's not true. I just haven't seen the last one. I don't think I ever saw the third
Number
one.
3?
I don't know. See, I'm still friends with this person on the internet, so if you're watching, I'm sorry. But I had a boyfriend that tried to make me watch 2 and 3, and I was like, but I think 1 was really good, and I don't care about 2 and 3. Like, and he was like, no, let's watch them both back to back.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
I fell asleep, and I've never tried to watch them since then, and...
You like Terminator Salvation.
I do like Terminator Salvation. All right. I don't know what that means because I've never seen 2 and 3.
Conversation afterwards.
Right.
Well, the good news is that HBO Max just put the trilogy
I mean,
up
we
on
have
there.
it.
Okay, I feel like you are doing a disservice to yourself not watching 2 and 3.
I have been yelled at by my bestest best friend Megan a million times for not knowing the greatness because she also loves 2 and 3. They
It's
did
a
an
phenomenal
entire
trilogy.
episode of their book club where all they talked about was why Megan loved all of the Matrix trilogy and like made Donnie watch them. So,
I wish I had a slow clap.
yeah. So, anyway, trades. They exist. Batman Fortnite, the zero point, is out in trade. This does contain the codes for all of the stuff that you got in individual issues. I believe I do also have all of the individual issues, so it's up to you. However you want it.
$24.99. You get all those codes.
Great
Or
Christmas gift.
It's a great Christmas gift. So are all the individual
Also,
issues. So whichever way,
that's
like
cool.
the kids are.
That's cool right there.
Yeah, I
The
like
little-
it.
I like the way this cover is done,
And
and it's hardcover.
if you have kids in your life that like Fortnite, this is, or adults, but for sure kids, this is great. I actually just yesterday had a lady come in and said my nephew just told me to find a comic book store that had this book, and I've been on the hunt for it. So I'm just here for this. So there you go. Jeff, I only have 5 trades to talk about. You're good. Left. Yeah, see, Brett said he plays Fortnite. Thank you. Yes, you should get, if you didn't get all of the Batman Fortnite issues, they have special skins and items and things like that. So, Brett, you need that if you didn't already get it. We have all the issues and the trade, depending on how you like it. Gideon Falls, this is volume 1. I believe we actually have all of the volumes, or most of the volumes in stock
6?
right now.
6 of them?
And we have most, if not all of them. This is Jeff Lemire, and you love this book.
Yes, I would put this in my top 5 favorite comics of all time.
Oh, shit. Okay, well, now I have to finish reading it, because we did it for book club, and I thought it was phenomenal. The cover of issue 1, which is the cover of the trade,
misleading.
does not tell you anything about the book, and is actually the reason I never read it. And then we read it for book club, and I was like, this isn't what I thought this book was at all. Now I'm interested. The cover of issue 1 completely turned me off to it, because you do judge comics by their cover. That is a true thing. And I'm glad I went back. And I need to keep going back. God of War dropped a new video game trailer this week. So I just wanted to remind everybody that Dark Horse makes God of War comics and that they exist.
There you go.
The Marked Volume 1, this is all about what if you could get tattoos and they gave you powers, and then the government figured that out and tried to take advantage of that. Maxwell's Demons. This is one of my favorite Vault titles. It's not for kids, but looks like it is. This is the story of a little boy who basically Winnie the Pooh's himself away from his drunken, abusive father, and he creates an entire world where him and his stuffed animals fight demons, and they are his actual personal internal demons that he is fighting.
Yes, very
Yes.
well. I enjoyed this book. I picked it up because of the interior art, and it was worth it.
Yeah.
I thoroughly enjoy this book.
Yeah, it's so good. Oh my gosh. We did that as a book club at one point. We gave the issue out for free and had people read it. Black of Heart. This is... You have to show the interior of this, because this is a classic noir dark print story, and it is... it's 1949, and there's a serial killer who is... he's using a taxi cab to get people off, get women off the street and murder them, and there's a detective that's trying to solve the problem. This is a Source Point Press book, which is actually recommended by James Tynion.
There you go.
I don't know. You don't need my recommendation. James Tynion said it was a good book. I don't count after that.
Yeah, it's 5 issues. I remember when you guys were talking about that first issue on an old live stream, and it easily convinced me that this was a book that needed to be read. It's really good.
It's really good.
It's very creepy.
It's very bleak.
Yes, but I love it. I highly recommend this book to everyone. If
I
you're a horror
actually
fan.
didn't get to read issue 5, so I need to read issue 5 because I need to
read
know.
issue 5.
Yeah, a modern day Jack the Ripper is definitely a good description of that. Gomez. Lastly, in trades, Eighth Immortal.
Oh.
One
of my favorites. This is a 4-issue miniseries from Source Point Press. It's in a world where there's 7 immortals that walk the earth. One of them has to make sure that an 8th immortal never appears. And she struggles with this task. This is probably some of the most beautiful artwork that I've ever seen. It's very minimal in color, but the thing, because you do have books that are doing this now, especially like with Marvel and DC, are doing the black, white, and red.
Gorgeous, yeah.
The thing is like that is just kind of how the book is meant to be made. Where this, however, the different colors that are used have a purpose. And it's supposed to fit with the emotions that are in the book. I picked this issue up randomly, the first issue, and was completely blown away by how beautiful this book is. It's got a little bit of a kind of an anime manga style to the way the characters are drawn, but that mixed with the unique use of color. I highly recommend this book. It was one of my favorites when it was on the shelf. and I'm glad that there are trades of it.
Yeah, I was worried. I remember when it was coming out, I was like, please buy this book. I want them to make trades. I don't know. Small press publishers don't always make trades of books that don't sell well. We need it to sell. And I mean, to the point where we missed, because this is an initial order, was an initial order only book.
Oh,
so
that's right.
we couldn't even, if you missed it at that 2 months out point, you didn't get it. And for me, like at the time, I missed the check on, like I missed it on the initial order. And so I missed issue 3, and Phil and myself and our other volunteer Juan, we were all reading it, and I was like, oh my god, I missed issue 3. I literally hunted down copies of issue 3 because I was like, there is no way that the three of us can go without finishing this series because it's so beautifully done. So we hunted down copies of issue 3, and then we ordered issue 4 so that we didn't miss it. But it was that good that, like, I was like, it doesn't even matter. I'm just buying you a copy of issue 3 wherever I find it. Yeah. Like, we're all just getting it. I don't care. And I'm so glad that they ended up making trades, because it is, like you said, it's a very beautiful book, and it's a great it's a great story of this woman who, you know, like, her job is literally to kill people, children that are possibly going to come into being immortal. And it's a woman who also lost a child, and it's
because of that very
reason. And now her job is that she has to kill children, and so it's such an emotional journey for her, and the way those colors just come into play for her. It was always, you know, one of those things where you're like, oh my god, the way they used the blues and the greens and the reds, the way they added that color to the story was just so impactful. And that's something, you know, we're getting to the point where we talk about, we're starting to get good in the comic industry. It's still a struggle where we talk about the artist as much as we talk about the writer. And it is still a huge struggle. And that's something, please remember that comics are created by more than one person. And give those artists that credit as well. But the thing is that, and shout out to Donnie Cates, because he actually brought this up when he was nominated for an Eisner this year for Crossover. They didn't list the colorist and the letterer, and he was like, well, it should go to the whole team. If a nomination should be for everybody on the book, not just the artist and the writer. And this is why, because the colorist of this book is the key to this story. And we need to remember that is such a huge thing, is that because it is a multimedia form of art, that the writer, the artist, the colorist, the letterer, they all play a huge role in this. And a lot of times even included in that is, like, the graphic designer. There's somebody who often, like, those multimedia facets of comics also include a graphic designer a lot of times. And so those people all should be getting credit, because it's a package. And it needs all of those pieces for the story to be complete. A lot of times. And this is one of the, sometimes you feel like you could take the art out or you could take the words out and you'd still get the complete story. This is one of those books where it is that complete package. And you need that. So Eighth Immortal, it's an immersive experience within all of those aspects of the comic medium, and I love that for this book. Yeah.
Come in, check it out, look through a few pages, but just the art alone, I think it's worth picking up. Yeah,
and check out more books by SourcePoint Press.
Yes, most definitely.
If you watch this show a lot, Phil and I will constantly sing the praises of SourcePoint books that are out right now. There's so many great ones, and that is a smaller press that doesn't get talked about a lot because it isn't even on a final order cutoff. It is an initial order publisher. So you have to let them know 2 months out that you want a book from your, like, whatever your local comic shop is. That's a 2-month out order. So it is a little harder to fall into those, but it's worth it.
Yeah.
So subscribe, look at those previous catalogs. That's one of those back of the book. They might only have 2 books that are listed at a time, kind of publishers. Look at them anyway. Subscribe to them out of the previous catalog so your LCS knows to get them for you, and enjoy, because the ride is always worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's give him another prize. See, look at that. The internet stays and you guys get more prizes. Ooh.
What was that?
Prize! He, lost the... I was talking still. He was trying to be polite. Silver Surfer Weapon Zero. This is one of those Top Cow Marvel crossovers from the 90s. And you're also getting a copy of Black Manta #1 that came out this week. What? Look at all of these people playing along that aren't you, Phil. Thank you, everybody in the comments. I love you more than I love Phil right now.
That's fair.
Since I'm giving you a DC book, I'm gonna ask you a DC question. In what book and what issue did Wonder Woman first appear? What is Wonder Woman's first appearance? If you can tell me that, you get both of these prizes. I know you know this, Matt. You don't get to comment, though, because you already own both of these books, because they're in our store.
Y'all have a copy of this?
No!
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, wait, what? Hold on.
Reprint.
We do have a reprint.
Okay.
Yeah, but we do not have... No, if I had a copy of... Yes, it's Chad, you got it. If I had a copy of All-Star Comics #8, I would cry every day while I held it and looked at it in beauty.
I can't imagine what that book goes
Yes.
for.
I know. Nigel always asks me, your wonderful roommate, he always asks me what is the one book that I want, and I don't even mention that because I'm scared that Nigel will try to hunt it down. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, he definitely will.
I know, and I don't want... That is... He
would.
can't afford it.
They're $200,000.
They're $200,000. He's gonna try, and that's why I don't talk about it, because it's I need it, but I don't need him to try to sacrifice his life or something to buy it. Comic industry news. So there is some news. Let me flip my paper back over. Now it's all confused with Jeff's comics that he would like from this live stream. Once again, I would like to remind everybody that the entire publishing industry is experiencing delays. This isn't just comic books. It is all across the publishing industry because the supplies for paper and things like that are experiencing a delay. So if you come into the store and you don't see a book that you thought was coming out that week, just come ask us. And hopefully we'll be able to pinpoint when the new date is. They're not even updating us on new dates on everything. But I guarantee you, if we're like, hey, that book didn't come out this week, it doesn't mean that we just forgot to give it to you. It literally means that the book did not come out this week. A lot of the DC annuals that were supposed to be out a couple weeks ago are just now starting to trickle through. I think we're for the most part hit all of them at this point. Just different books in general. Red Shift, like I said, was a month later than it was supposed to be. Creators are starting to try to tweet as they're getting informed that their book is coming out later. I will tell you though that creators don't even necessarily know when their book is coming out, so don't be hateful to creators on the internet because the book wasn't out, and try to be patient with your LCS. It is just one of those things that's going on right now. They're still coming. They're coming eventually. You'll get your books. They're still on order. It's definitely happening. And Brett and Scott both pointed out bags and boards are also in that same category. Yes, bags and boards are in basically non-existent supply. They are constantly on back order. They are doing their... Okay, we're back. Yeah, bags and boards. BCW has been struggling. Everybody else is really struggling. No, it's not just you, Scott. The internet in the entire city, BJ was actually explaining this to us earlier, the internet in the entire city is struggling, and they are hoping to do some internet-wide shutdowns and fixes today. But bags and boards are actually having some major problems, as well as even the plastic bins and things like that. But that said, we have BCW short boxes on the way. How many do we have, Matt? 60? We have 60 of the BCW plastic bins on their way, so they are coming. For those who asked, we do have graphic boxes in right now. We've got a couple of Batman. We have Batman 1. We have a Web Warriors 1. We have an X-Men Alex Ross in stock. We have a Kingdom Come box. And we have a something else that I never remember what it is. Deadpool. We have a Deadpool box. So we do have some graphic short boxes in stock. We will have some BCW boxes, plastic boxes coming soon. So there are some short boxes. And for our subscribers, remember you do get bags and boards with your subscription for your titles. So if you you can get them when you pick up your subscription. Scott, you are the guy who sent the person with the long boxes. Yes, we do have long boxes that are about to be donated. Scott is actually the person who sent them our way. Thank you so much, Scott. He is bringing us those long boxes. So thank you for sending him our way, Scott. That is a thing that is happening soon. So thank you. Gomez would like to see those graphic boxes. If you can text him a picture.
Well, in particular, it looks like he wants the Kingdom Come one.
Yeah, so Matt's gonna do that. So yeah, thank you so much, Scott, for the picture or the long boxes. Other comic news. Speaking of graphic boxes, in case you didn't see the announcement this week, Something is Killing the Children is getting graphic short boxes.
Hey.
Woohoo! Coming in January. There will be Something is Killing the Children graphic short boxes coming this way. He would like to see Batman as well. So Something is Killing Children boxes are coming in January. We already have 50 on order, and the order hasn't even happened yet.
Wow.
So don't worry, we will have them. They're really cool. The top of it is like the Something is Killing the Children cover, and then it says like Boom Studios Presents on it.
Nice.
It's freaking awesome. These are some of the ones we have in stock. That's the Deadpool one.
Show the top, too.
Show the top. Other way. There you go. Deadpool. Sweet. We've got the Kingdom Come. Sweet. And then we've got this Web Warriors box as well. Gomez, we need to build another one of the Batman ones, so I'll have Matt sent you a picture because I sold the last built one today, I think. And then we have the X-Men one too. Does the X-Men one need to be rebuilt?
No, I get that's back there.
Okay. We also have the X-Men one, and Gomez says he wants the Kingdom Come one, so cool. Cool. And then, yeah, Brett said loves his Web Warriors box. Filled it with Spider-Man. What a great way to use that. Thanks, Brett. Other news, tomorrow night, we will have, like I said, Literati Press will be out here from 7 to 9. While the store is usually closed, we are having this event. It is going to be in the backyard unless it is raining, and then we'll move it inside. But they are going to be doing an ink and draw, and so we're going to be doing some cool art activities with them, hanging out, getting to meet the Literati team. They're going to be checking portfolios if you have one. If you are a beginner, you don't have any art skills like me, it's a lot of fun to come out here and get to just play some games and learn some art from some comic creators and some art teachers. And just to hang out and meet some cool creators. If you are a pro artist and you're like, hey, I actually already create my comics and I want to come have some fun with that, come on out and do that. It's going to be a lot of fun either way from 7 to 9 tomorrow night. Again, in the backyard if it's not raining. If it is raining, which it might be, we'll be in the shop. Either way, please bring a mask. The other thing is Batman Day is this upcoming Saturday, September 18th. There are some exclusive Batman Day titles that we will have available, as well as some other cool things. So keep an eye out because there is a sale coming with that. Special Batman Day sale. So there is already an event for Batman Day on our Facebook page here that y'all are watching. So if you check that out, I'm going to be dropping the information for the sale probably tomorrow. He was praising himself. All right. So yes, we've got the one-day sale for Batman Day coming up September 18th. If you want to know what that is and all the details of it, you're going to have to check out the event here on our Facebook page. It's going to last that day. You can also get those exclusive titles. Also want to point out, DC is doing an 80th anniversary for Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman Day is technically October 21st, which is not an event kind of day. It's like a middle of the week day. It is a Thursday, I think. So we might be tying that into some things coming up on October 23rd. Just keep an eye out on our Facebook page for events that might be happening that week. But I'm just really excited that we are going to have a whole day celebrating Wonder Woman. There are exclusive titles for Wonder Woman for that day as well.
Nice.
80th anniversary. Obviously, Wonder Woman will be here in appearance that day.
Gal Gadot?
Yes, Gal Gadot will not be here. Not a chance. I mean, Gal Gadot, if you're available, like, please feel free to stop by. I'll cry. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'll just cry if you do show up. But, there will be a Wonder Woman, not Gal Gadot, here that day. So upcoming things, like I said, keep an eye on our Facebook for some more exciting news. There's a lot of things coming from Bat City. And Bat City just celebrated an anniversary this weekend. So that was super cool. So, yeah.
What was the anniversary?
This 1 year as Bat City.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, September 10th.
It's already been a year?
It's already been a year.
Yikes.
So, I guess from Matt and Stan and myself, a huge shout out and thank you for everybody who's been supporting us in the last year. It's been an incredible, amazing year. I have people come in all the time who are like, I can't believe that y'all are still opening up during a pandemic. That's incredible. And existing, that's fantastic. Well, we did it, and it wasn't for anything we did. It's because of everything that y'all did. So thank you so much to everybody for your continued love and support. We 1 year officially open as Bat City. We love everybody, and thanks for all of your love and support. And it's just in time for Batman Day. How convenient does that work out? It's like AT&T just owns us all. So there you go. No, Jeff, they're not. But yes, so Chad, do you have a list for us of comics that come out this week? Because you are my list master of comics that are coming up this week. I know, he's just so excited. Thank you for the compliment. Chad said best place he's ever had a pull list. I appreciate that so much. And I personally just want to thank everybody that's just been a huge support. Matt and I had our second print wedding, a month ago, and it was completely put on by Bat City volunteers, and it reminds me every day how incredible that you guys are. So thank you, Phil and team, for all of your love and support. Comics out this week: Justice League Last Ride, which is Chip Zdarsky, Extreme Carnage Agony, Campisi's The Dragon Incident number 2. Woohoo! I've been waiting for an issue 2 for that. Bat Fam titles from Chad. Wonder Woman 779. Yes, that is on our list of things I love. Primordial number 1. This is a hot new title. If you are considering getting Primordial, send me a message through the Bat City Facebook page or personally immediately. Otherwise, you probably won't make it. Homesick Pilots number 9 is out.
Woo-hoo.
Win number 10. Woohoo! Fight Girls number 3 is out. I love this Hunger Games-esque type AWA title. I'm really excited. Ma number 1 is out. All of you Megan Hutchison, Kate's fans are going to need this. Ma number 1 cover B is a Megan Hutchison Kate's variant. We got it.
Open order variant.
It is the first open order variant from Megan that's not on like a creator-owned title from her. So Megan Hutchison Kate's Ma number 1. Boom, title. You're going to need it. We have them. Ask us for them in advance if you can. Moths number 4 from AWA Upshot. This is a part of the Resistance universe. Godzilla vs. Rivals the Mothra edition, which I've been waiting for. Black Mist number 3. And the Harley Quinn animated series comic book, Eat, Bang, Kill Tour number 1. If you want that book and you haven't told me yet, your time is running out, because this is a book that everybody's going to ask me for. So if you are looking for that Harley Quinn, Eat, Bang, Kill, tell me now, because it picks up exactly where the last episode of the last season ended. So if you need that, send me a message, because otherwise I don't know.
What a crazy ending to last season.
I know. BJ said, anyone know if the newly revamped Marvel Unlimited is worth it for the weekly Hickman Shalvey X-Men stories? That's out. Ram says, interested in Harley Quinn. I got you, Ram. I will put you down for that next week. BJ wants a Megan book. Chat wants a Megan book. Jeff wants a Megan book. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And Jeff. Harley. Jeff, you just need to email me.
You poor guy.
Text me, Jeff. Because we will work on that. Yes. And Godzilla and Harley Quinn for Gomez as well. All right. Jeff, I got you. You know I got you, Jeff.
Jeff, if you want, we can fight for the position here on the live stream, because I get the privilege of being on here every week and reading all these books. So if that's something you're interested in, to save you some money, we can work something out.
And Brett, I saw that you needed all of the cover of Agony, so I will get you all covers of Agony when they come in for your box as well. So I did catch that. Jeff, that battle to the death is going to be scary, because I don't think that Phil wants to actually give up his seat. So, ooh, now BJ wants a Harley Quinn versus Godzilla book drawn by Megan Hutchison. I will tell her that tomorrow, because who knows? The world, anything can happen. So that is our comic industry news. We've got one more giveaway for you. It is going to include a prize. Yay! I'm so proud. Alright. Jeff said add the Godzilla vs. Harley Quinn, Megan Hutchison, Kate's books to his box as well. This prize includes Die Kitty Die Heaven or Hell, created by Dan Parent. I'm very excited about this. Oh, and it also includes a Berserker foil.
Dang.
I know.
Who did the art on this?
Is that the Grandpa one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tilt back on that.
Look at that. Even Brett's in on the prize thing. You're such a slacker, Phil.
Keep going? Is that what you said?
You're just going to keep leaning.
Nice.
Keep leaning back. I'm like, lean back, Phil. Lean back. Lean back. All right. This Berserker foil and this Dan Parent comic can be yours if you can tell me the answer to this extremely easy question if you paid attention to Twitter today. What Marvel creator shares their birthday with Marvel character Bats the dog? And what day is that birthday? Okay, so apparently we froze. So if you commented, it doesn't count. What Marvel creator shares their... Did I freeze again? Okay, what Marvel creator shares their birthday with Marvel character Bats the dog? And what day is that birthday? If you can tell me that, you get both of these comics. And like I said, we froze, so I don't know if you already answered. So you gotta give me both the creator and the birthday. If you were on Twitter today, this was there. I need both the birthday and the creator. Yes, BJ, I knew you were gonna get this because yes, the answer is Donnie Cates, and his birthday is this Tuesday, September 14th. I love that Donnie Cates found out that he shared a birthday with Bats the dog from the Marvel Wikipedia for Bats the dog after writing Bats the dog for so many years. But yes, it is. It's Donnie Cates and Bats the dog, who Donnie named his dog after. the actual charactered bats, and Donnie shared the birthday of September 14th. So happy birthday, Donnie, from our live stream, because we won't see you, but I will obviously just tell you happy birthday on your birthday. But don't forget, tell Donnie happy birthday on September 14th. We obviously love him here at Bat City. He's wonderful. And shout out to my niece Bats, the dog in real life, because she's fucking adorable. So that is Donnie and Megan's dog. She's adorable. I love her. Other than that, thank you so much for joining us. It was a lot of fun this week. Thank you for sticking through all of the internet outages. Hopefully your internet is working tomorrow. BJ says there will be captioning. All right, so ironic that I am telling you thank you for sticking through the internet outages when we freeze. If we don't see you tomorrow for Literati Press while we're having a lot of fun making some art and having a good time, we will see you on Wednesday for New Comic Book Day. If not, we will see you next Sunday here while we wind down our weekend. What?
Saturday for Batman Day.
Oh, we'll see you Saturday for Batman Day and the sell in store. And if not then, or in conjunction with all of those things, we will see you on Sunday for Wind Down Your Weekend. It's a busy week here at Bat City. We've got Monday night with Literati. We've got New Comic Book Day on Wednesday. We've got Saturday for Batman Day. And as always, we are here Sunday nights at 9. It's myself, SmallPressShann, with Wednesday Phil, talking to you about all the comics. We love having you. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.